What is going on, All-Terrain Nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, well, you know the drill, Kelly. It does not matter what you drive because this is your All-Terrain Nation, and we're merely the hosts of this boat. We're like holding the rudder a little bit.
Captains of the ship, if you're talking about a boat, sir.
Well, anyways, we are doing something with this boat. Anyways, what is going on, everybody? We thought it would be fun. I know it's kind of a late addition to the old live stream network here, but we thought it would be fun. I thought for a couple weeks about what I could do for this and just really didn't know whether we'd be doing what we'd be doing tonight. So congratulations, everybody. We made it through 22, unlike Betty White. So
too soon.
I say thank you, Miss White, for all the fun stuff you did, especially later in your life, man. You very inspiring that when I get that age, maybe I'll be just as half as fun.
Half as fun?
Hey, man. I don't know where I'm going with that. But anyways, congratulations, everybody. We've made it through 22 so far. And I'm going to say this right off the bat. If you drink tonight, please do not drive at all. There's Uber. There's bicycles. I don't know what you would take. You know, flying, have a duck fly you. I don't know, man. Something. Just let's not drink and drive, especially tonight. I call this rookie night. And
yes, we do.
The last time I went out, which I fought Kelly about.
My parents had, in my defense, had gotten us a scavenger hunt in downtown Nashville. And
we just get right into it, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
When
you
was
were
that?
just talking about it.
2000.
We were dating. We weren't even married yet. So 2006.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like go ahead, finish your story.
That was 15 years ago, by the way.
Yes.
But yeah, my parents had gotten us a scavenger hunt in downtown Nashville, which it was pretty fun. We learned a lot about the city, and we literally we left Nashville within plenty of time to get back home. We went to a friend's house who was just having a get-together party at their house, and we're in the kitchen, and somebody comes in and goes, "Hey, who drives a Scion?" And we were like, "Scion? What?"
Little brown box, they said.
Little brown box out there. And Dave was like, "Oh, no." He's like, "That's mine." He's like, "A drunk just came around the corner and hit your truck, man."
Drove straight into the front of it.
Straight into it. And
literally came, my car's here, and there's a street way up here. He turned and just kept turning until he turned into the front of my little Honda Element.
And so the police came and all that, and they were like, "Oh, we know who it is. We're going to go get him, blah, 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 blah." Yep. He's not getting away with this. Well, apparently he was former military,
no,
or he was active military, getting ready to go
be deployed
back out on deployment, and so that would stop him from being able to go back and be deployed, so they didn't press any charges against him.
And Thomas, thank you for pointing that out. If I said 22.
What did you say?
It's a crazy. I think I said made it through 22, not 21.
Oh, we haven't made it through 22
What's up, Brad?
yet.
Reviews for you? What is up? We got the cast of characters in here. We got Valley Dude. We've got Overlanding for Fun. We got Bluford. Did you see Kelly Bluford?
I did. Congratulations. I can't wait to see it.
I know. We'll have to do some pictures. Side by side
we'll have to
pictures.
get together for sure.
But we got all the fun people are in here. Valley Dude 5000. John Whiterman, I think it is.
Whiteman? There's no R in there. There's not an extra R.
I don't know.
I bet it's Whiteman. Could be wrong.
John, you know we're butchering your name, but dude, hey, once again, John made me a little carving up there, and I much respect, sir. It's out of love.
It's purely just because he's not good at names. Oh, Nissan Hawaii in the house.
We got Nissan Hawaii in the house, and I'm sure Nissan Hawaii is going to want to enjoy this show because tonight we are going to kind of review some of the hit or misses of the channel and some things we covered this past year. It's not a it's not about all of our adventures. It's about, we actually do reporting and we cover events and stuff. And I wanted to kind of give here's a look back at the year. And first off, I needed to say, one, this channel started July of 2020. Ironically, when the Bronco, not because of the Bronco.
Not intentional.
But the same time the Bronco got started. But I've been doing this for 10 plus years before that, just with the Nissan brand and some other things. And I have to say, you guys have helped me create something very, very fun here. I constantly get emails, get a lot of people saying, "Hey, man, you guys are just doing it. It's fun." Danny initially helped me get this thing going, and then Danny, just being Danny, has like 17 fires in the thing and couldn't be a part of it. But throughout the year, just it's been the pandemic time, so it's been hard to literally physically go cover things. So the live streams have helped us a lot with that. of being able, like the digital reveals that Chevrolet's about to do, the digital reveal of the new Silverado EV. We're able to cover things that way. Since we can't be there, it's kind of the next best thing. And I think it is for the consumer. It's kind of neat too, because they get to see the exact same thing that I'm getting to see. It's not like, a lot of times you go to one of the big auto shows, like we got to see the Toyota stuff in 2020 that right before they were launching it. I forget what they revealed there. The not midnight editions, whatever they call their black editions.
I'm trying to remember. It was so long ago. 2020 was such a big year.
We saw the Mojave get revealed.
Yep, we did.
A bunch of cool things like that you guys don't normally get to be. So I kind of think it's cool for you guys to be able to do this, even though there's some things that we don't get the details. You see the details we get now, but before that you would get printouts, and it was a little better. And we're not friendly with all the manufacturers just yet because, well, I pissed one of them off pretty good. They don't like the brutal honesty sometimes. So, anyways, what's up, Jeff Cordetti, man? We got old school in the house, Jeff. We hadn't seen Jeff in a long time, man.
Coradetti, I'm betting.
Coradetti. So, man, it's just butcher.
See what happens in the digital
nation.
world when you don't see people face to face. Sometimes you don't get the.
But anyway, so tonight I wanted to kind of go through the best that we've seen this year. Obviously, towards the end of the year, we've been able to go travel more now that I don't know what we call the pandemic, what it is anymore, but the world keeps turning. So I think we're all adapting and learning how to do this. Kelly, you got that big champagne bottle sitting over there.
I was just going to say, Rad Reviews wants to know what we're drinking tonight.
Well, right now it's been water.
Just been water so far, but this is our champagne of choice. We may or may not have taken down several bottles at my brother's wedding.
Yeah,
about 15 years ago.
Yeah, many bottles.
Many.
But we'll let Kelly open that, and we will cheers everybody.
We're gonna open it now?
Flo, what is going on, man? We got the cast of characters in here, and I don't know if they've noticed. Kelly, you probably haven't even noticed that we changed up the members. They get the little ATN logo.
I did notice the ATN. I did. Good job there.
So for all the members that they get that little special badge.
So you no longer have that little green S next to your name. You actually have the all-terrain button.
I don't know what that was about within YouTube. Like, what does that
just
exactly
looks like
mean?
money, I guess.
Well, it's not money.
Or their standard.
But anyways, so if you see the little logos beside you and you're wondering what that is, it's because they're members. So appreciate all the memberships. So first off, we can't start the show without talking Bronco, Kelly, because
well, why not? I can't imagine.
2020 was pretty crazy. You were not a part of the channel really just yet, even though you've always been behind the scenes and helped me do things. Like you just
popping it now.
Sure, why not? But you've not been. Ooh. JD, dude, man, thank you so much. And Flo, thank you so much.
Yes.
Flo, when you were driving on dirt road in Alabama, did you ever hear dueling banjos? Because that would have scared the shit out of me.
So the only thing we heard was the fact that we turned the music or the radio off because
and put it in a ditch.
As we're adults, I can't hear or I can't see through the sound of different things. So we did not hear dueling banjos. Had we, it probably would have been even worse
Jessica?
Than it was. But yeah, no. So that it was definitely
yeah, no. Honestly, man, there was one scary point where we about put it in a ditch. It was it was like speed bumps, and
cheers.
Wait, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
But it was like driving through just speed bumps, like every foot, and we about put it in the ditch. It was
the way the water or something had run off the road because it was literally like
so
like think about it this way. So like if you've ever driven on like back roads and you're coming through a highway and a highway comes up and it's like, hey, speed limit drops up here, and then it gives you those stutter stops where it's like, hey, we're telling you there's a stop sign coming up. That's essentially what it was the entire road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a nightmare, and I do not wish to go through that again. And JD, happy New Year's to you, sir, and thank you. Like, guys, I never want you to think I'm begging for this money. This money is greatly appreciated, though. So, if you do that for me, I definitely say thank you for that. And once again, I'm not asking for it, though. I appreciate it. We would do the show whether we made $1 or probably it used to cost me a lot of money.
We just couldn't travel.
Yeah. So that definitely helps that. let's see, and long-time fan of the show, Nissan Hawaii Nation over there. Ronald's been a big supporter of the channel, so we appreciate that. But so the Bronco, Kelly,
Rumble strips. That's it. Thank you, Corey.
Rumble strips. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Excuse me. So Bronco, we'll kick off this show with the Bronco. Obviously, guys, you know, we do a lot with Bronco, but 2020, we got some news of the Bronco. We got to see the Bronco, but then we by January 20th, you realize January 20th, almost a year ago, was when we put our order in.
That's crazy.
We put it seriously. I think actually we did it the 19th because I feel like we were there.
What'd you put on the website?
Huh?
What'd you put on the website?
I don't remember. I think the 20th, but I know it was right when you were really kind of squeaking in to get it in there. Not that I thought it was going to do any better to get it than whenever they built it, but
well, the word on the street was it didn't matter what date you put your order in; they were only going by reservations. So
up to March 20th.
Yeah, so the word on the street was that. So for us, we didn't run in to put an order in because we thought our reservation made more sense.
So we did that.
January 20th was what you have on the website.
It got the excitement kicked in because, I think it was by April or March. Oh, no, damn it. It was King of Hammers. So end of January, they started taking people out on rides with them. We were seeing people like they were everywhere. Ford started the machine. They started the PR machine with these things. And it really hyped everybody up, including us, because we're not just a journalist. I am an enthusiast of that vehicle. I really do like that vehicle. It's different. It's not Jeep. We come from we like quirky vehicles, I think, as is. So it was kind of the best of both worlds for us. But once you start seeing everybody getting to ride in these things in Johnson Valley and stuff, and we're way over here on the East Coast, like, damn it, man, what is going on
here? Where's my
here?
playground?
Right, and but then we heard they were going to be at Celebration East in Townsend, Tennessee, and we almost didn't go to that. It's one of our biggest videos of the year, and we almost
didn't happen.
Right, and we almost didn't do it because the weather just was horrible. The whole I think week leading up to it, it was just kind of nasty. Over in East Tennessee, they got a bunch of rain. It was cold. April can be still, especially in the hills of Tennessee, can be a little chilly. And our friend with Bronco Battalion USA, Heidi, was there. She was doing her clothing stuff there. And we decided to go to Chattanooga, Tennessee that night before. And
Stay in our favorite hotel.
Yeah, the Reed House. And check the Reed House out, by the way, if you're ever in that area.
It's very fun.
Chattanooga area.
It's very 30s.
But we stayed there, and we thought, okay, it's only an hour to drive up from there. So Heidi, when we were packing, I think we were getting breakfast or something. She's like, hey, I'm packing up and leaving. She's like, I'm cold.
Oh, I was getting my Starbucks.
Yeah. She's like, I'm cold. It's just miserable. She's like, and there's not a lot of – it had been – when I say there's not a lot of people, they'd been busy the whole week.
Yeah, she was like running by herself all weekend and or all week, and she was just exhausted, and she was like, there really aren't that many people here now comparatively to what had been there during the week had we found out later.
Right.
But yeah, and then so we were like, maybe we won't go, and then we were like, you know what, this was the plan, let's just go. We're halfway there,
and we had just gotten the BMW at the time too, so it was kind of like putting some miles on it and figuring that car out. But yeah, so we ended up doing that, and by the time we got there, it quit raining. It quit, and I called Heidi, and I was like, Heidi,
you missed the boat, buddy,
because this place was packed. And though they had, I want to say, at least a dozen full-size Broncos and maybe 6 Bronco Sports. And we had done a review. Wow, we did January 1st is when we did the review on the Bronco Sport. And I released it sometime.
Did we really? January 1st? Oh, that's right, because it was January 1st.
And
that's
we
right.
did the F-150, not a great video on the F-150, but our friends over at the Ford dealership were like, hey, take this out too. And I had not prepared for that vehicle, and that video shows.
It was a good truck, though. We really liked that truck.
Our first chance to mess with the excuse me tonight, everybody. But it was my first chance to get to mess with the big 12-inch screen. The 360 cameras were real nice in that.
Yeah, it was super nice.
but yeah, that's crazy.
It set the bar.
Yeah, and it did, and that set the tone for the channel this year. But
yeah,
so we went and did that event and had a blast. It was the first time we both had got to physically touch a Bronco. And I think I'd walked from the messy car lot to the event area. And I told Kelly, I was like, you're going to want to wear boots. The land surveyor and me came out and was like, this place going to be messy. Let's take our boots. Let's
I think
be
I only wore
prepared.
tennis shoes or something.
You
didn't
did.
I?
You had tennis shoes. And Sid had tennis shoes.
That's on the to-do list to get is some boots for show-worthy stuff for like rain.
But so I would beelining it right to, they had a nice display of all these Broncos, and I was beelining it, man. Like Kelly and Sydney were probably having to catch up a little bit because I was grinning because
we were not wanting to fall and bust our asses.
Well, and then our friends like Bronco Wild Outdoors, him and his son had done some. I saw some videos they were doing.
And you saw how prepared it was.
Yeah,
messy
I was like, oh no, but I saw that and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to get to review one of these things. But we had a blast there. We finally got to ride in one, which is really nice. It wasn't just like getting to sit like a normal car show where you just get to sit in it and you're like, acting like, oh,
how'd that go again?
Making the noise and sitting there thinking of how awesome this would be. We got to experience, because Townsend, Tennessee is where pretty close to Windrock Park is.
Yep.
In Oliver Springs, Tennessee.
About an hour and a half away.
So the terrain was very similar that we were getting to kind of get a feel in it. Now, because unfortunately it was raining so hard, they shortened the course.
Yeah.
But we, do you remember our driver's name? I never
know.
He's a super nice guy.
Super nice. It's on our video.
And, dude, he gave it the beans. When we hit the main road.
He did.
He gave
Took
it the
off.
beans. And it was Kelly's, because you have not, like I said, you were really not a part of the channel then. You were always background helping. You were booking travel, stuff like that. But you really weren't daily looking at information on the Bronco like I was. So you had seen it, obviously. I made you watch that video probably 15 times. But you would see.
I just knew being an enthusiast that we were excited about it.
You're talking just a second.
I am talking. But yeah, so I had seen it. Obviously, we had placed the order and everything at that point because that was what? March?
Yep.
March, yeah.
Rookie night over here. I'm forgetting all
I
my
know,
stuff.
I was noticing that, but I was going to let you roll. But yeah, so I had not, I knew kind of what-ish we were getting ourselves into, but I didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. And I knew nothing about.
You kind of wanted a Wrangler, let's be honest. Like
I did. And at that point, I still had my Xterra. We still had, our vehicles and stuff. So all I knew at that point was a cost associated with it.
Right.
All I knew is the price tag that we were looking at. And he was like, oh, I don't think we're going to do this because we don't want to do this. And I had thought about, because he was really big on the lights. He really wanted the lights of the Badlands.
Why? I don't know.
I don't know either, but you really wanted them. And part of me was like, well, let's just give him what he wants. And I didn't really know why we were giving him what he wants other than just giving him what he wants. And then we drove. That's when we actually got to ride in it. And I had only seen maybe a handful of videos at that time of what people had done with these because obviously there just weren't any videos other than manufacturer vehicle or videos. And I told him, I was like, you know what, let's talk about it. It really inspired me to kind of think about what could we do with this vehicle? What could we talk about with this vehicle and things like that? So it actually reminded me as we were listening, I was like, this is actually pretty, it was a hardtop we were in though, right? Yeah. So it was a hardtop we were in. And I was like,
it didn't have any sound deadening.
No sound deadening whatsoever, but you still could hear a little bit through it. So I told him, I was like, we need to talk about that, or you need to talk about that at that point.
Yeah. She starts dumping all these ideas to me.
I did. I was like, this, and this. But how we didn't catch that there were no cup holders in there, I don't know.
Yeah.
At that time.
Well, I knew about the heaters, the vents in the back, but the
lack of vents.
The cup holder thing was kind of off my radar at the moment. But we had a blast with that, and
that's why we ended up with the Badlands because he wheeled with us.
Well, but we did the Black Diamond for like you were saying for. It wasn't that much cheaper, to be honest. It was like $3,000 cheaper, which sounds like a lot of money, but
in the scheme of things,
yeah, not really. When you maybe $4,000, I don't know, but not like it was half the car to get the next level up. And I'm so glad we did.
I am too, and it's funny because and we've told this story a lot, but it really kind of tells you where we ended up in this vehicle. Was the guy, again, gave it the beans on the muddy trail on the road, and I'm sitting here in the back seat going, oh my gosh, this vehicle's gonna, because I don't do mud. Like, I don't have a problem with mud, but I don't like mud in my vehicle because the vehicle itself is unpredictable at that point. Because in mud, it can get dangerous really quickly. So I'm not a mud fan when it comes to that. But we're flying around, and I'm expecting we're going to slip and slide into a tree or whatever. And we get to this area, and he's like, oh, we can't take you up there, but I'm going to show you what we do here. And he put us up on a rock. And I don't like off camber. I have control issues when it comes to that. And we're sitting there, we're teetering, and all of a sudden he pushes a button and it goes, and I said to him, I want that.
Right.
And he's like, yes. Well, that's going to cost X amount of dollars more. I don't remember what she told me. And I was like, but can we get it? Can we get it? And there we are. The
responsible person to me was like, no, let's not do that.
Yeah.
And then obviously you guys know for us, we 99'd our order by May because I was getting fed inside information that the tops, and we were reporting this. Even by June, I was like telling everybody, hey, the tops are going to be bad. And, I want to say by June, that's when we started talking about switching to soft tops. If you still want yours, switch to a soft top. And we should have listened to ourselves because
we should have.
We definitely would have. And I say that, but I had $99 and I just was like, I didn't have to have the vehicle,
Right.
It wasn't like I know some people here in the chats were like, hey, I'm kind of a time frame. I needed a vehicle, and where's my vehicle? But we had a blast on that trip. We ended up with the Bronco by August. Dr. Detroit got his first edition. It was like, dude, well, I actually got it before that, but he was like, dude, you're coming up to do a review on my Bronco, right? And I was like, well, yeah, you're going to give me a review.
And honestly, I don't know that he was planning to go to the wedding that I was going to.
I wasn't planning on going to this wedding.
Yeah, actually, I think I had RSVP'd you not to go. And then Dr. Detroit was like, well, hey, when Kelly comes up, she can actually just drive my Bronco. And then this one goes, oh, you can drive his Bronco. I'm going. And so here we were, because I was actually just going to fly in instead of drive up. And
so we did that first edition review. We had the thing like way longer than we really should have.
Well, we told him we shouldn't have it. We told him we'd do an hour.
Like Dr. Detroit's silly guy, man. Like to just awesome, salt of the earth kind of guy. But so we did that, and we talked on the way back. Hey, well, we went to Woodford, the Dream Cruise.
Yep, Woodward.
And we saw, the colors and stuff, and both were just like, ugh.
That's where they revealed the new colors.
Yeah, I expected, and I know some people love the eruption green. I don't dislike it. It's just not I wouldn't buy it.
And the hot pepper, chili, whatever
the hot pepper
it's
red,
called. It's too orange for me.
Yes.
But again, like we said, that's just our opinion on what.
Yes, if we ever don't ever think that our opinions are law, because hey, you want what you want and we buy what we buy. But yeah, so we decided, hey, let's just throw back in there with the soft top, and we'll go ahead and I wanted the Badlands. I know you, after seeing it, wanted the Badlands. So it was like, cool, man. We'll just go for that, and probably still a 22.
Yeah.
In reality, but we wanted that rapid red color.
We were hopeful because we wanted our color.
And what was it, 3 days later after putting it in?
So on the Monday, you contacted our dealer and said, hey, please un-99 this, and here's the modifications I want to make. And well, actually, you did on that Saturday. He said, okay, when I go in on Monday, I'll do it, and I'll send you an update. So he sent us an update on that Monday that he had done it. And then Thursday, we had a build date.
Yeah. And the rest, you guys have seen all the videos and all of our struggles with that. But for everybody else, the Bronco for 2021 has just been up or down. They've had a rash of 2.7-liter twin turbos go out. I'm hearing it's an injector issue. Either way, the valves are dropping. It's causing the engines to detonate. Now I say this a lot. The negative always is louder than the positive on these things. If we did not cover these things and I just had the Bronco, I'm probably not getting on the internet and discussing how good my 2.7's been. Fingers crossed. But there have been a handful of them here and having problems. And of course, it was already hard to get these things built. Ford's doing the best they can to get these engines out to dealers, but it's kind of a nightmare. There was also the soft top issues where initially people were just, I think it was more user error, but they were scratching the sport bars. I think because they were just jerking them however they wanted to.
So what I've heard is that there's push points on them. So like obviously we have not gotten back that far in with the roll bars. We've only done the front, but apparently if you don't put your hands where it says lift, then you're potentially scratching up, and it gets essentially out of whack.
But that thing, the Bronco, it's been a hit for Ford, but yet Kelly's opinion is state law.
Which states?
Yes, Michigan and Tennessee, I guess.
And Ohio.
No, you don't get Ohio.
Yes.
But the thing has been, it's been the talk of the town this year, and probably if I had to rank it out of anything we've done, obviously you guys are channel know we're a lot of Bronco. Definitely, it's been the hottest thing of the year to talk about. And
and that's the majority where the majority of our folks are in the chat tonight are actually Bronco
but it's
fans.
Gonna change, I'm telling you. We got some fun things coming up. And speaking of fun things, the interview with my father drops next week. I think I've talked about it a little bit.
You talked about it on Monday.
It's 30 some minutes. My dad he's wily, and
yeah, so this one, like, times 100, like, in his wiliness is his dad.
Oh yeah, but it was for me, honestly, man, and hopefully you guys watch it and enjoy it. Like I said, it's a long one, but there's not a lot of visually you need to watch about it. So just play it in the background and listen to it.
It's just talk. It's a lot of talk.
But I was super happy to do that with my dad. And we also got Monday the Canoe video, which the Canoe is it's a startup electric company.
That one you're trying to get me to sold on.
It's a startup electric company that I really like. But it's something that could down the road maybe be in our driveway.
Cora Deddy says more of a Jeep fan here.
Dr. Detroit is in the house.
Welcome. Some were bent in the beginning from installation, but that was corrected fast.
Yeah.
Good to know.
What's up, Tim Help? Loving yours so far. That's awesome to hear. Smash the like button. Yes, thank you so much. Nurse AJ, what does she say there, Kelly?
She says, Happy New Year, Dave and Kelly. Thank you so much for all your entertainment wishes. Entertainment. Man, my champagne's kicking in already. Right. Wishing you continued success for 2022. Thank you. And Cora Daddy says we need to move to Wyoming or North Dakota.
I know. I like Wyoming a lot, and I'll visit there for short periods of time, but that's it.
I actually have a friend in Jackson Hole that she was just trying to get back there after being on the West Coast somewhere, and she really struggled with the snowstorm that came in. She's like, whenever you come to Jackson Hole, you got to tell me, and I'll take you around. 'Cause she used to be a concierge at the hotel there.
All right.
At the what's a big hotel?
Well,
Four Seasons.
Fluid Peak there that we could talk to.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of contacts there.
So we need a Jackson Hole trip, Dave.
So next up, I want to talk about is the Jeep Gladiator, Kelly, because this one was kind of a left curve for you a little bit, because with the Bronco, with us having to kind of put the Bronco on hold at the time, I needed a vehicle to work with on a daily. Well, we needed a vehicle because we'd not accidentally, we sold a bunch of our vehicles. Anticipation for the Bronco.
Well, so let's be honest. So that one came because the BMW was having its issues too. Really,
yes.
That was the catalyst.
Yes.
So
that did help. But
to back it up real quick, and then I'll let you jump into Gladiator. So of course we bought the BMW. I bought the BMW.
Don't hit me.
Don't be telling everybody that I hit you, because you know it's not true. But we bought the BMW because I sold my Xterra. We literally sold my Xterra, and then I was buying the Beamer like the next day or something like that, because I needed to have a vehicle to get our daughter to and from school. But that's really the only reason. And then it decided to ruin the water pump on it. It just decided to stop working on the way to school one day. Yep. And so we were without vehicle. And so he was like,
we had my off-road toy, but
we had his off-road toy, but it wasn't for one. It wasn't insured.
It was emergency use only.
It wasn't insured. It wasn't plated. So it was like we couldn't do that. So he was like, I've been looking at this Jeep.
And I talked to you for probably 6 months about Jeeps anyways.
But myself and our daughter were like, no Jeep Gladiators. We're not getting that
Wranglers
ugly thing.
all day long. My daughter loves the
Wranglers all day long, but no Gladiators. Those are ugly. We will not ride in that thing.
Well, and so the Jeep, the timing of it kind of worked great and not so great, because I've been watching the car sales and tracking that stuff, and I knew by summer it was going to get hard to find vehicles, which turned out to be 100%. It was getting hard, and dealer markups were getting like ridiculous. But we actually got a small discount on this vehicle, which who knows when we'll see an actual.
Bye, Overland Nashville. Sorry, he was leaving.
Oh,
Happy New Year.
Who knows when we'll see an actual discount on a vehicle?
Yeah.
Anytime soon.
Yeah.
But
I still think there was some more negotiating room we had there on that one a little bit.
we
But
probably could have, but Kelly, I told her the color we wanted. We were looking for the color. Every time it seemed like I'd find a dealership that had the color.
it was gone.
It was gone because it was. I think it was one of the hottest colors for them.
It
for a
was, and
while.
it was brand new for that year.
So we ended up finding, or Kelly texted me and said, "Hey, I found one." I called the dealership. Oh, we must have just sold that one because it's not here. And it literally, I think 10 minutes later, the guy goes, "Hey, you're not gonna believe this. That is on the delivery truck." And
No, he said it just
I
arrived.
I said, "Hey, I know my wife been tracking this thing," and
I knew based on the VIN number. Andrea, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hey,
$49.99.
cheers!
Super
Thank
chat.
you
We appreciate you.
so
Thank
much
you.
for that. But I mean, I went into the thing and I just told him straight up. I said, "Look, man, I'm an auto journalist. I'm not here to play games. I think I told him if you'll match what the local dealership had for rebates or something like that."
But they didn't end up matching them.
Well, they sort of did, but they backed money back into it.
Oh, you told him the only thing I don't want, I'm not going to hit you for anything, but I'm not doing this off-road package that you put on here because it literally just came off the truck. You didn't do anything to the vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
And the nitro tires are not worth $1,000. So
I still have the old sheet for that, which I thought that was actually a cool
I thought that was
touch.
nice.
And I've seen other dealers do that because I love these things.
Yeah.
I never get rid of them.
Yeah. So the guy was like, okay, I'm sure we can make that happen. So he literally went in and he came back and.
Well, I picked you up in my company vehicle, you
Yeah.
and Sydney. Poor Sydney was having to ride around in a king cab vehicle. Like no
with the
room
majority
at
of his stuff was truck stuff or work stuff.
all. And we get there and it was parked out front. It went through PDI inspection and we looked at it and was like, "Hey, cool." Except I saw a nick in the screen and a cut
In the rubber
on
around
the
it.
Jeeps. There's this little rubber ring that goes around the screen, and I seen that and I said, "Hey, man, is that a cut?" And he rubbed because he thought it was a dirt or something. Which I get.
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing. He rubbed it and he's like, "Oh," I said, "Hey, if you'll put this in writing that you're going to take care of this, no problem, man." And
He's like,
so-
oh, yeah, we'll get you scheduled before you even leave
yeah,
this dealership today.
right. Which he wasn't the best salesman I've ever came across, but he was a super nice guy.
Yes,
I mean, he very good intentions.
for sure.
But we ended up driving that thing home that night. Never test drove it because I didn't care. Honestly, I didn't care how it drove because I wanted Andy.
Oh,
yes.
yes. Thank you, Andy. Yes, rest in peace.
Andy, I don't know where you're
Grandma,
going with that. I know. But
I didn't know if you knew what that G meant, sir.
oh, I knew. But I didn't care how the Jeep was going to drive. And honestly, I did look for Wranglers for quite a while, but the problem with the Wranglers were because of the whole pandemic thing. Everybody's getting their
Yay, Steve's.
somebody else I think had posted they got their
I think it was actually Steve's.
was it?
Keep going.
I'm going. But I'll let you handle that. So we the Wranglers they were gone on all the lots. They were gone. And I did a video a week
Same
before. Okay. I did a video a week before buying the thing. I was at my local dealerships and they only had maybe 6 or 7 Gladiators and no Wranglers.
And I think at that point you had done the video of disappearing lots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like we'd already seen on the lots that there was nothing. So we were not taking any chances of, somebody swooping in and going, no, it's fine. I got this. And we weren't waiting.
Oh, congratulations, Andy.
Yay.
So we bought that. I didn't even get to drive it home. You
Nope.
put the first
Because
100 miles on it, I think.
in my defense, I am not allowed to drive your company truck.
No,
And we took your company truck to the dealership.
Guys, no. It wasn't
Everybody
like,
you make it sound like I'm such a bad wife.
No, I was just saying I didn't get to drive it home, which is like, it was kind of like with the Bronco we split. I wanted to make sure you got to drive it too. because we're both car nuts when it comes down to it.
It had the lowest amount of miles that I've ever had on a vehicle driving it off a lot. 8.
8 miles. And our Bronco
had 14.
Yeah. Which you were kind of bummed about that. I was like, that doesn't matter.
I was a little bummed that it was that it was double digits.
So we bought that and instantly tried to figure the vehicle out because when the Gladiator, I was brain partner. When the Gladiator came out, like it was so different to me. And I remember on our Nissan shows that me and Danny were doing, I was like, Danny, I think that's probably my next vehicle. And Danny's like, oh, dude, they're so ugly. And I said, the thing about it is Jeep's presentation, much like when Ford did their presentation of the Bronco, the presentation for Gladiator was amazing. And they instantly said, I remember the guy, the lead designer on the thing said, look, we know our customers are going to take this thing and go right to the tire store and put 35s on it. So we made it a point, because the spare tire on the Gladiator's underneath the bed. He said, we made it a point. You can put a 35 under there, no problem. And hearing stuff like that was awesome to me because they know their clients.
Yeah, and I have to say, piggyback, because we were Nissan for so long, it was so nice to hear about a company that actually knew who their clients were versus Nissan just going, let's just shoot something out the wall, a door, and see if it sticks.
Yeah, with that brand, it's sometimes...
And I'm not knocking the brand at all. It's just been our
many
experience.
Of their vehicles.
Great.
Thank you.
Great product, but just... Overlanding for Fun says...
What's going on, Mile.3 Garage?
And Overlanding for Fun says, so it's Kelly's Gladiator, too.
It was, yes. But I think once you got to drive it, you realize it's not what you thought it was, right?
Yeah. So, like I said, our daughter and I were like, no Gladiator. This is ugly. This is blah, blah, blah. And it's not that the whole thing is ugly. It's just, like I told him, it's like you took a Jeep and you took a truck and said, I got to figure out how these are going to fit together, and made the redheaded stepchild and put them together. But when it comes out, you don't see the truck bed when you're driving. You appreciate the truck bed when you need it.
Which we hadn't had a truck in a while, too.
We hadn't had a truck in a while. And the fact that we could actually take the top off completely and go topless, that was nice, too. So our daughter has definitely changed her. Now, she wanted a purple one, and Snazzleberry is as close to purple as I think you're ever going to get.
It's really a candy apple red.
She wanted a purple Wrangler is what she wanted.
Yeah, her and my brother would talk about it, and she's like, I want a purple one. And I was like, it's probably not going to happen.
But yeah, so I've appreciated it for sure. It definitely wheels completely different than I'm used to. That long wheel bed kind of gets you in some spots.
Well, and even with the Nissan Frontier we had a 2012 Pro 4X, and with that one was stock, really. Other than we put rock sliders on it, I put some coils on it, but I didn't. It was all stock form. Yeah, like I didn't have it really lifted much, and even from that truck, it was different to wheel this.
But in the Gladiator's defense, I did not like wheeling the... You liked wheeling the Frontier. I did not like wheeling the Frontier because, again, you don't have that weight in the back of the truck. So, for one, you've got that longer wheelbase, and your back end's kind of kicking a little bit more than you'd expect it to. So,
Peugeot, what are you talking about, man? It's not that ugly.
What did he say?
He'd rather take a Sawzall to his F-150.
But, yeah, so,
Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year. But yeah, so, I mean, it's a great truck. It's been a great truck. I really like the Freedom tops that we're able to take off of it. Has grown in the last few months, 30, I bet.
Well,
I bet.
That's the thing with it, Mile 3 is we even have a little bit slightly larger. So we have the Willys package, which is, it's like a Sport Plus, which a Sport is, entry level with Jeep. But we got the slightly larger MT tires, the Firestone Destination MTs, which I really like, and I don't want to like those tires. And so we got a little bit of the Rubicon package with it. It comes with the rock sliders, the same shocks and stuff that they put on the Wrangler Rubicons. So it's not the heavier duty stuff, the bigger Fox suspension I think that they're putting on the Rubicon stuff now. But anyways, So we got a little bit of that. I think ultimately, if this thing would have came with a rear locker, we would have had zero issues on the trails with this thing. But we did take it out wheeling this fall, and sadly the weather just wouldn't cooperate where you could take the doors and everything off.
No, and it's funny because I was leading a ladies trail at our event, ladies run, and it was lady drivers only is the rule, and we got in the spot. And our friend Luke with Lifestyle Off-Road had his Bronco out there, and he had somehow gotten in front of us. I don't remember why, but he had gotten in front of us, and he just like crawled right up the spot. And then I get up there, and I just can't get over this rock. And he's like, "Give it." And I was like, "I am giving it. Like, it's just not going." Yeah. And it literally, like the Jeep, I don't know if it's
the throttle control of it.
I was gonna say I don't know if it's the Gladiator in general or whether it's in total like the newer Jeeps. But it actually, as soon as you put it to the floor, it regulates and it says, "Nope, we're not going." Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, let me get in it," and he gets in it and he's running into the same problem. So unfortunately, our Bronco,
Floyd, I'll get to Nissan next for you. But I do have a reason why they took so long.
And he realized that. It was not driver error. It was the fact that the truck just doesn't want to let you go a little bit.
I've always, told everybody what a good off-road driver you are in rock crawling or whatever. Like, it definitely, like, I trust you to give you the keys and say, hey, go out by yourself. Like, right. I would trust you to do that. But yeah, it was something. The way they have they don't want these high RPMs in these things anymore. Like, you can't rev any new cars really. They don't want you to do that. And it was a bummer. And it was a bummer that thing had to be towed out, which Luke likes to throw that little clip of him towing us out in a lot of his videos.
I'm sure he does. That does not surprise me.
Yeah, which is whatever.
Yeah, it's fun.
I ultimately care. I will say for the Gladiator, it's the best of both worlds. To be able to take the doors off and the roof panels off, and the only kind of pain in the ass part of it is that back roof area, which by the end of the summer we were like, we'll just leave it on.
Yeah, because by the time you pop off the Freedom Tops rolled on the windows, or take off the doors, you don't even have to take off the lid really.
But I like it having all the top off, and if we know the weather's going to be great for a couple weeks.
But a shade is definitely necessary because the sun. You don't realize how
the gear shade
sun
stuff is
beats
definitely
down on you.
But I enjoyed that. I think it was great for the summer vehicle. We had intentions of getting rid of that to get the Bronco, and that didn't work out. But I think it's going to work out better for us for the immediate future anyways, because I've got a bunch of stuff planned for that vehicle, some more content coming there. Let's see. Thomas says, when are we going to do some wheeling? And our Jeep's invited. I'm down to wheel anytime, man. My biggest problem with wheeling right now is time.
Yeah.
Till this becomes,
I would like some wrap on it though.
Yeah. Till this is able to be a full-time job for me. Like, this is 40 hours a week. I kid you not. And then, my normal 45 to 50 hour a week job. And then I got to spend some time with the family. And of course, for us too, softball kicks in the spring.
Oh, yeah. We were actually writing down our dates for the year, and we won't divulge all of those to you, but
they're over here somewhere.
We have like almost every month we're traveling this year.
Yep.
Yeah, there's something every month. So,
but definitely, I'm always, especially like here in Middle Tennessee, there's a nice car show. Is it on Fridays?
I don't know anymore.
It's always a fun car show. The one in Franklin, Tennessee is Cars and Coffee is always a nice time. That's I do plan on doing some of that stuff.
Now, of course, that's car show, but you're talking wheelings. Yeah, we're totally up for wheeling. We would, like he said, at this point, we would just have to do it somewhat locally because we can't.
It's hard to get a weekend
It's hard
away.
to get a weekend away right now just because of all the traveling we have going for the rest of the year. But yeah.
And Peugeot says, what, no rear locker? No, it's got a limited slip diff in it. So, but, limited slip. The brake points in these things are for it to, the clutch pack in it to give out and make it to a one-wheel drive is, They just, I like the vehicle, though. I would say if we were to buy that again, I probably would just go ahead and get a Rubicon version of it if we knew it was something to keep and go from there. But we do have plans. The plans for that vehicle is to take the 35s off of the Bronco and put on it. I have a small lift for that vehicle. And honestly, I think by just doing that and the little small lift, like locally, I can sell the thing pretty easy because it's a pretty vehicle. The interior is nice. And, we'll have some fun with it. Maybe go camping with it or something. And it'll move on sometime this spring.
Yeah.
But next up, let's get into Frontier because...
before you do... Johnny's Car Care Reviews says Gladiator look has been growing on us. Not like the mold, but we actually do like the side view.
Yeah, it's a little long, Johnny. But like Mile 3 was saying, once you put 35s on up, and 40s make that thing look incredible. Like
we've seen, it's funny because quick story on that, and we'll get on to the Frontier. But there was a guy that actually got his Gladiator, same color. Was it Willie's trim?
Oh yeah,
where he got Willie's trim. Literally, like, had I not known it wasn't him. So had I not known it wasn't him driving on the road, I would think it was him driving on the road when we had gotten ours. And we've watched that grow. Like over a couple months, he did a lot to it really quickly. Oh, yeah. And then we were just like, is that the same one?
It's got the
same guy in it. So
bed rack, roof, top tent, and all that.
Yeah, like it's totally beastly, and it looks great. It really, really does.
And of course, we've done some, like we did the bumper on it with intents of putting a winch in there. Just ran out of time on that.
And Andy asked about the dates we're putting down. So when I say we actually sat down, it's like Dave and I sat down and put our dates together. So there are a couple folks around the year that we will touch base with, but this is truly our travel for this channel.
It's we got Chicago Auto Show coming up. We're going to Florida in a couple weeks. We've got Moab in June. Supercell is April. The Detroit Auto Show is September. We've got 2 of our Texas Auto Writers Association events to do in April and October, and we got SEMA in November, and that's just the start. That's the stuff that basically we've been approved to do.
Yeah.
So, by all the super chats and stuff, man, it does help us able to do that. So thank you for all that. Frontier, Kelly.
And Mark King, we are going to Celebration East.
Yes,
we will actually have a booth with Lifestyle Off-Road.
Yes, so we have a double booth there. So our Bronco will be there. Hopefully Lifestyle Off-Road's Bronco will be there. He's got news to come on that. And we'll go from there. But I know Lifestyles, they're planning on having like 4 bumpers there to literally physically buy, not like you have to order and wait. He's going to have production ready bumpers there that you can take.
I know he's working on sliders too. So I don't know if they're going to have the sliders ready for purchase at that point, but that is the plan, is to be able to see them.
Right, and they've got the rear bumper that should be ready to go around that same time too. But so that's, we have a lot of plans. All right, before I say Frontier again, and you
hold on
to somewhere.
And Peugeot asked if we have upgraded our speakers for the Bronco yet. Probably the best mod for money. We have them sitting here. We just haven't gotten to them yet. So that is definitely, man, Johnny's Car Care hitting it hard. Guinness beer and gin and juice. Nice, Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year.
And Johnny, I want to get you back on the show.
Yes.
And especially one of the ATN shows, because I'd like to talk to you about all things cars and trucks.
Logic Warrior says you need a bigger shelf because you need to add more Bronco swag and a photo of your Bronco.
So
we actually have production pictures.
I have commitment issues on this stuff, man. So if you
except for me, the only commitment he hasn't had a problem with.
Right. But if you watch the intro of the show, like you see this wall has changed slightly since I started doing the new stuff here, and I had a shelf that didn't work out. And so I told Kelly, I was like, hey, I think I found me a shelf, and I have boarded the shelf. And I like it, but it's just kind of too small, really. When you see it in this, it's kind of small.
It does look tiny, but at the same point, then our heads would be in front of it. So it's kind of I don't know. We're going to have to look at it. We're going to have to work on that.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, so down the road, this is ever evolving.
Johnny's Car Care says, looks like we're missing 10 thumbs up. Don't forget, it gets this show out to more people. Thank you, Johnny's Car Care.
Thank you, sir. And Johnny's crushed. I think, Johnny, you probably surpassed me now in subscribers. And congratulations if you have.
Brent says, Happy New Year, y'all. Thank you both for just being you. And thank you. We appreciate that, because we're not putting on our show from that perspective. This is literally who we are.
We're these 2 goofy bastards that just like talking cars.
Wow, watch yourself. Don't talk bad about my mama.
No, so let's talk about that for a minute before I do the Frontier. So
I promise we'll get to the Frontier.
Yes, I promise, because I love Frontier talk. Do you guys remember when I was doing this by myself, man? That is hard to do, especially when I would do 2-hour shows of nonstop talking. That is rough, man. And it came down about a month and a half ago or so that I was just like, hey, Kelly, I messed with her. I said, well, this is well more than it's about 3 or 4 months ago. I said, you need to earn your keep.
No. It was after Austin.
Yeah.
So it was at September.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, you need to earn your trip to Austin. And I said, excuse me?
Now, granted, I like to pick. You see us. We do pick at each other quite a bit.
But I was already but what he doesn't know is, sorry guys, this is probably how your wives or girlfriends or girls or partners or whatever feel. But it's like, I'm already a little sensitive to it that I didn't feel like I was giving enough for being able to go on these trips and things and kind of helping out and things like that. So it was already sensitive to it. So the fact that you actually said it was like,
I scratched a wound.
It's validity to the issue. So yeah, he was like, you got to start earning your keep. And it just.
Night, Andy. Hey, stay safe out there, sir.
Night, Andy.
But it's fun. Like when I was doing the Nissan coverage with Danny, it was.
Thanks, Revy. I actually flat ironed it for you guys tonight. Thanks, appreciate it.
Me and Danny would go do these things, and Danny will still. I have some trips planned that Danny's going to be a part of. But we're two idiot guys, and I kind of missed having somebody with me on these shows because you go do this. The road for a journalist can be pretty lonely at times, man.
I'm sure.
Like you go out there and you're by yourself, and I have friends out there, but you're like, damn, man. You talk to the family or whatever, and you're like, well, I'll be home in a couple of days, I guess. As I'm eating $100 steak.
And there's jealousy sitting at home knowing that he's gone too because.
Well, yeah, because Nissan sent me on that trip and it killed you.
Yeah, well, plus you had just had shoulder surgery too, so the mama bear in me is like, you shouldn't be traveling by yourself, and I could really go. But and the funny thing is before he and I got together, he didn't travel much at all. Like he wasn't really truly interested in doing much other than like locally kind of stuff. And I worked in the music business to be able to travel. Like that was part of the drive.
In my part of the music world, I did travel. It's not
right, but I mean, it wasn't a scratch. An itch you needed to scratch. And like for me, that's an itch I needed to scratch, was to do the travel thing. And so like he was going off on all these adventures and I'm like, I just get to stay home and be mom and work and whatever.
The last time Nissan sent me on a trip, man, it was for the release of the 2020 Titan, and I was sending her these pictures of this high-end meals I was eating.
And he stayed at the best resort. We'll never be able to afford to stay at this resort ever in our lives. And come to find out after the fact, we could have flown me out and I could have stayed at the resort. I just couldn't partake in all the food and stuff. And I was like, damn it. That would have been nice. Anyway, sorry.
So I decided, hey, Kelly's been in the background. Let's kind of get you out there with us. So we got you for the Texas Auto Writers Association. I signed you up for that. You did great there by, like just walking around talking about things. And I think it was good for you to kind of learn what I do there. And it's a fast pace, especially that event was super fast paced. You're supposed to only get like 30 minutes with a car. Some people would take them out for a couple hours. There's a few big channels out there that took the new Tundra before everybody else could get it. And just, I don't know. But they, it's kind of aggravating because, everybody's trying to do time with these vehicles. But you got to see that, and you did very well. And then, you got to talk about the 4Runner, broke you in with that a little bit. She only wanted to do that part of it, and I said, no, you have to sit down here and talk about the video, that was a little bit hard for you because I'm a guy that can talk to you. Excuse me. I can talk here, know what I'm going to say. I may take me a couple takes, but you are the type of person that has to script it out.
Yes.
Like really.
Well, but so I don't have to be completely scripted, but I do have to know, like, I have to be confident with my talk points and I can spin it to make it work or whatever. But that was a tough one for me just because
she didn't like taking direction either.
No, I don't. I will take constructive criticism, but I don't like that much constructive criticism. It makes sense. But, I'm more of a let's talk to you like this. I'll answer your questions and things like that. That's kind of where I thrive a little bit more from that perspective. But he thrives on just like putting it out there and doing whatever. But
which is I get a lot of feedback for that though. People like the kind of keeping it real and not feeling as rehearsed per se. But you did that. You've actually, I don't know where we're at on that video right now, but it's actually done pretty well for you.
Really?
Yeah, let's check it out real quick.
I haven't looked at the stats lately.
I haven't either. But so we brought Kelly in, and I hope you guys have enjoyed, especially the live stuff. I have a lot of fun here, just you doing this. It's kind of a fun, whether it be the Monday nights or you haven't really joined too much for the Frontier stuff. But I think it's been a lot of fun. I think it's been honestly good for you to sorry, I gotta move that over. I can't see.
Moving the champagne.
I know. Well, my glass is empty. There it is. Let's see. 1,700 views on that for you, Kelly.
Not bad.
Not too bad. But so you guys, hopefully you're enjoying Kelly's part of it. Kelly's going to do, she's got some stuff planned of her year in review of Bronco swag coming up video.
Yeah. You weren't supposed to tell. I'm not supposed to say anything.
Nobody's watching. But and there's some other things, especially from the mom perspective, that I really want to get your opinion on and do some videos that way. So
well, in the oh, sorry, and the stuff I like to talk about is to his point. Like I like to talk about what's a mom going to think of this vehicle, like how are we going to utilize it and things like that. So that's definitely coming up from a content perspective. And Valley Dude 5000 says, when are you coming to Florida? So that's still in the air. We'll definitely let you guys know.
28th, tentatively.
That's expected. Yeah. We're just kind of waiting for our contact down there to let us know if that date works for them, for us to go ahead and do that. What are you laughing at? Are you laughing at the Peugeot comment?
Yes. Ben Warren, definitely more off-road videos coming.
Yeah.
I'd had a lot of plans to do more off-roading last year, but by the time we got the Gladiator, I needed it unharmed for a while to just do some normal reviews on, and then it got late in the year.
Aw, thanks, Peugeot. Adding Kelly has been nothing but a good thing.
Well,
that's sweet. Thank you.
Good thing in my life as well.
Aw, good. Revy says ATN's my favorite channel.
Thank you.
I totally liked it with just Dave, but I like it even more with the dynamic between you guys. Thank you.
So what they're saying is...
Get out of my picture. Mile 3 says, I like to ad-lib, and Mandy likes more structure. Our dynamic is definitely like yours.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Mile 3, we got to get you guys back on, man. I know you had a tough time when the last show, but definitely want to get you... Because you guys are getting... hopefully you guys are safe out there with all the Colorado fires, man. I think you're not in that area, but... if anybody out there, if you're in the area, man,
please stay safe.
Yes. So Frontier, Kelly, before I 30 more minutes of interruptions and us talking about other things.
Logic is working watching on the television. It looks like you're going to be an all SEC national championship.
Well, go Buckeyes.
Boo.
Let's see. So the Nissan Frontier. So it's taken 17 years.
Oh, only 17 years?
Yes. And
longer than we've been married.
Me and Danny started talking about that vehicle news-wise in 2015, and I'm pretty connected. For the Bronco guys, I'm really connected to Nissan North America.
Even though he's gotten his hand slapped,
I'm able to.
Revy, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm able to sometimes break news with the Nissan brands that other can't due to some connections I have.
Say, take a sip.
And with the Frontier, man, I've been very close to that. Frontier and Titan. And 2015, some of my sources were like, hey, they're wanting to do the new Frontier, but they're wanting to do the Navara version of the Frontier. And which I always thought the Navara was a good looking vehicle. But the problem was it was already out for several years, that version of it, that generation, and it was kind of starting to look old. And they're like, yeah, there even talk of Nissan doing that, but keeping the same seats that are in the current Frontier. And Nissan's truck division is strange because Nissan built a lot of their strength here in the United States based on the old 620s, the 720s, and the hard bodies. The hard body, believe it or not, used to sell over 200,000 a year here in the United States. That's incredible. Now they're selling about 80 to 90,000. I think I think with a full 22 year, I think they'll hit 90,000 with that vehicle. And
pause. Jason's leaving. Jason Boyd,
bye, Jason.
Thanks for joining us and popping in. I know you guys got to go.
He redacted it.
I know he did, but he still had to go.
Oh.
So,
but
good luck doing what you're doing.
So Nissan with their trucks it's been kind of crazy because they've not had any kind of person guiding the ship in a long time. Now, whether you want to get into the old Carlos Ghosn thing, hiding in the boxes or whatever to escape, being custody in Japan, a lot of people think that guy did a lot of amazing things for that brand because in 2000 or in 1998, 99, Nissan was going bankrupt. Like badly. Mm-hmm. They were building. What's funny is the 90s for Nissan are some of their most iconic cars they've ever built. But it didn't always translate to good sales here in the United States, and they were having a lot of problems globally. And Renault steps in, and then Renault, by 2001, I think, placed Carlos Ghosn in there. He has this plan of volume. We need a lot of volume. They wanted Nissan to be one of the global sales leaders. Well, the Frontier just gets left out in that because they have a design. You have the Gen 1 Frontier, which actually sold okay. And then the Gen 2 sold well, but it really didn't deserve 17 years of that body style. Now, we had a 2006 and we've had a 2012. Mm-hmm. Both were great vehicles.
But you didn't see any difference between them.
Not at all. Not at all. Well, there was slight differences, but not enough to justify it. But Nissan finally got somebody.
Bye, Peugeot. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you. They finally got somebody in from Dodge Ram, Fred Diaz, to kind of take the truck line and say, hey, this is what you guys need to do. The Nissan was going to give away the Frontier to be built by Ram at one time. They just wanted to build cars, and they thought, well, we'll just have Ram do this. They were going to build the Titan for him. The second-generation Titan was going to be a Dodge Ram. And then by 9, with the economy collapse, forced Nissan into this shit storm. We've got to redesign the vehicles now. We're going to do it ourselves. We don't trust Ram to not go under. So we're going to do it ourselves. So that caused a lot of chaos and a lot of, now what do we do? And like I said earlier, they were going to do, by 16, they were going to do the Navara. Fred Diaz came in and said, look, guys, you can't do that. It needs to be a strong truck. Well, then a few years later, he left the company.
Story time with David Boyd.
It's been a lot of chaos for that line of vehicles, for their truck line. And so
I had to give you a hard time.
That's all right. It's just taken forever for them to get that vehicle where we're at now. And, Nissan takes a lot of crap. Oh, this new truck, it's the same underpinning as the last one. Excuse me. Who cares? Because the Toyota Tacoma is the same underpinning as the last vehicle, basically. And even Nissan's updated it slightly. Mm-hmm. But, Kelly, where are you at with this vehicle? What do you think? We have one coming in February for us to have a week review with it. Where are you at right now with what you've seen and what you know of our old one?
I'll be interested to see it, see the differences between the new one. Bronco 78 2022. Thank you so much for that super chat. We appreciate you. Happy New Year. I've kind of said this in the past. I'm interested to see more about it because I haven't had a chance to really put my hands on it. You got the chance to drive it a little bit this fall, but I'm interested to see what the upgrades have been on it.
I can tell you one thing is the turning radius has not been improved.
Has not? No. Still the same?
Yeah.
That is not a fan.
No, it's one of the worst turning radiuses of a truck.
Yes. When we turn the Bronco, it's just like, oh, this is like a go-kart when we turn it at this point. But, I'm kind of, it's now growing on me. When it first came out, I was kind of like, we could have done more with it to make it look better. Mm-hmm. It's still growing on me. It's better in my mind than it was when I first saw the body style.
Right.
But I'm definitely I'm definitely eager to see the difference in it.
Well, we broke the news back March of 20, or somewhere, April, March, somewhere of 20, of what the truck was going to look like on the Nissan Nation production channel.
And you got in trouble.
Yes, I got in a lot of trouble for that. But I sat
on
that
picture. And I told
picture.
him.
I sat on that picture for a year.
He did.
And me and somebody within Nissan corporate got into it a little bit. And I was like, And honestly, my brother passed away, and I was just not in a great place to have that picture. And
but that's not why you dropped it.
No,
you always have to clarify that that's not why you dropped it, because
but there was
he got many calls from corporate about why did you do that.
I had lunches about that picture.
You actually had lunches about it before you dropped it.
And I had my source was pushing to get this picture released, and he ended up started giving it to other people, and they were coming to me going, "Hey, is this what I think it is?" And so I ended up releasing it. Anyways,
yeah.
If they do what he's saying, it has a Tacoma problem, which there's some reason for that. But if Nissan does what I heard they were going to do, this year could be really big for Frontier. There could be a Raptor version, like a Nismo version.
The Nismo is the Raptor version.
Right. But the Frontier, it's got somewhat of a Tacoma problem. There's definitely some hints of Tacoma to it. And
to
but
his
why
point,
not?
There's a reason.
Yeah, Tacoma sells 200,000+ a year. Why would you?
We almost had a Tacoma.
Yeah. We
when we
tried.
bought our Frontier.
Yeah.
Our first one.
It was just a little more than we wanted to spend, which is funny now because it was the decked out TRD for $28,000.
And it was white.
But now that truck would be $50,000.
Oh yeah,
same truck.
Easy. That's funny.
But yeah, so the Frontier, yes, it does have somewhat of a Tacoma problem, but I think the headlights are very unique, and I like those a lot. The vehicle, like a lot of vehicles to me, once you lift them, put some more aggressive looking tires, they look a lot better. Or just aggressive tires sometimes.
I would agree, because I haven't seen too many in person, and remember I took that picture of that white one, and I was like, oh, that's a good looking Titan. And then I saw it said Frontier on the tailgate, and I took a picture, and I was like, look, one of our neighbors within the area has a Frontier, and sent it to him. I was like the first one I saw in the wild, and now I see it everywhere, and he's done some work to it. And it looks good from that perspective, but in general, the truck itself.
Yeah, Ben Warren says the Frontier exterior looks amazing. I think Nissan needs to make the Frontier a tad bigger to appeal to the full-size buyers, then make a mini truck to compete with the Maverick. Well, when I worked for Nissan, Ben, they wanted to bring the hard body back. But it just that they can't make that platform work anymore within federal regs. And I think the days of the mini truck, I know everybody acts like Maverick is this mini truck, but it's not. They're almost as big as the current Ranger. So I do think that they do need to make a hybrid truck like that, but I also think GM and everybody needs to jump on that. But to kind of wrap up on Frontier, we have one coming in February. Man, my throat is rough tonight. And we have one coming in February, and I'll be happy to do some time in it to really get a feel for it, because I did 30-40 minutes in one, just enough to kind of get a early feel for it.
It'll be nice to see it Frontier versus Bronco versus Gladiator.
Yes, which will happen. But speaking of that, we jump into the Maverick, and Kelly, I know Maverick for you is something you don't know a ton about. But Maverick, when I heard they were going to do the Maverick, I was like, is that a joke? And seriously, like I thought, for one, it's a car name, which is weird. Why they chose the Maverick name? Obviously, there's some staying power because it's a very popular truck now. But I was like, man, why are they? Just seems weird. And then the mini trucks, and then I was excited by the mini truck part because I thought, cool, it's going to be like a 2-seater truck that people love. But what we got, and when I first seen it, I love the front design of it. I think that's a really cool design of it, and it's what the new Ranger is going to look like. But I just wasn't really sold on it. We didn't get much numbers from it, and I did a video, not shitting on it, but just kind of like let down. And I took a lot of heat.
In big trouble for that.
I took a lot of heat for that video. And so I thought, you know what? The building price had just came up. I thought, let me build one out, and I'll do a video on that and just see what you get for the money. It's one of my most popular videos of the year.
Yes. And you didn't even plan it.
I hate to say it was like a throwaway video, but it was kind of like one I thought, I'm just going to sit down here. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put a lot of love into it because I'm not sold on the vehicle.
Right.
The more I did the video, by the way, I was doing it and kind of going, okay, I see the appeal of this vehicle.
So with that being said, I'm just going to piggyback on that for a second. It's funny because the videos that we put our heart and souls into they don't really get the views that we expect or that we're hoping for. But the ones that we just kind of quickly put together are the ones that typically take off.
The video that I'm going to drop of interviewing my dad about the 50s and 60s
probably
cars,
won't get a ton.
and I sat here I probably have 2 hours of easily editing in that video. And if it gets 500 views, I'm probably lucky.
And like he told me earlier tonight, he said, this is for me. This video is for me. And I said, and it's for the grandkids to be able to look back and see that history.
What's up, Carla?
Hey, Carla, I hope you're feeling better soon.
Yeah. Everybody think of my friend Carla Lopez there. She not feeling good right now.
Your throwaways seem to be the best, LOL. Like your window sticker video.
Right. Well, yeah, and that one was that wasn't necessarily a throwaway video.
But he has wanted to.
I would like to do a new version of that and maybe put a little more details into it. But no.
Well, hi, William Lane from East Tennessee, neighbors.
What's up, sir? But so the Maverick, it was interesting to me. We didn't really have any numbers at the time. Ford was like, yeah, we're gonna do the hybrid and then the non-hybrid version, and they claimed 40 miles per gallon in the hybrid, which I'm hearing now they're getting up to 44 miles a gallon in that little thing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a vehicle we could take and go across country in, relatively cheap.
That's crazy.
And you do get some features. Now, it does have like Sync 3, which I think was lame. I think they should have put the the latest version of their Sync in there.
Don't we have Sync 4 in there in ours?
Ours, yes. But there's a couple things they definitely cheaped out on. But it was interesting, especially once you see the interior of the thing. You're like, okay, I see the appeal of this. Since they're not making a car anymore, the Maverick kind of takes that place. You get sort of a truck bed. If you want to go hiking or whatever, throw your muddy shoes in the back of it. Doesn't get anything dirty. A bike, whatever you want to throw back there. So I do see the appeal of that vehicle. And I would love to do time in one of those. And this will sound like I'm begging for subs, and it's not. But for us to get for Ford and some of these companies to allow us some manufacturers' vehicles, I have to get my subs up. So
yeah, just so you guys know.
Yes, if you guys ever wonder, like, hey man, why does TFL or any of these channels get vehicles and you don't? It's the game you got to play. I got to make a dent in the social media world.
Especially for Nashville area. So the Nashville area in general is tougher to get into because our closest hub is Atlanta, which is about 5 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours.
4 hours, something like that. So for them to justify to come to this area, we have to have more subs.
Because they bring a vehicle, they drop it off at your doorstep, and then a week later they come pick it up.
Happy New Year, Rob.
But let's see. But the Maverick, I'm definitely interested in doing. I know my local dealership said anytime they get one in for dealer stock, they'll let me know. And they're like, go have fun with it. So we do plan on doing that. And we did the Bronco Sport. It's going to be very similar to, I think, the interior and stuff of the Bronco Sport.
Yeah.
So let's see.
I didn't dislike the interior of the Bronco Sport.
No, it's nice.
Just the size in general of the vehicle was too small.
Let's see, Airplane Mike says, I know they are moving away from cars, but I did love the Ranchero. Would love to see Ford bring something like that back. Well, kind of is, really.
Yeah.
Mike, it's damn near as big, honestly. Now, the Ranchero was wider, and the old El Caminos were a little wider, but they're pretty damn close lengthwise. Rad Reviews, what does he say there, Kelly?
He says, do the Bronco side mirrors have lights underneath the surface? I know they have them on the back side. Thanks.
They do have if you get the Lux package, I believe, maybe the high package, they do have the 360 lighting.
Yeah, we have the sensor where the lane sensor, but I don't recall there's a
package, so we don't have that. Let's see. Where we at?
William says, have a question. My wife ordered a Badlands back in June. She still has no VIN. The only thing she has is order confirmation, and they can't find any information. So you won't have a VIN until you're scheduled for production. So don't freak out about that. That just means that you may not be ready in there.
The Ford one, there's a 1-800 number from Ford that you can call, and they might be able to
if you have the order confirmation, you can at least call them to see, hey, do you know anything? Go into
what we learned dealers were doing with emails.
Oh, so I've been saying this for months, and it was just actually validated on one of the groups that we're in for Broncos that a person called and was like, hey, I don't know why I'm not getting my notices. And they called Ford customer service, and Ford customer service says, oh, the dealers have been putting their email addresses on the orders, and that's why you're not getting your notifications. Now, I'm not saying that that is everybody, but that was put out there that has been happening. And I've been saying this for months to people that have said that they never even got their order confirmation. They never got any of this stuff, because if you ordered with your dealer and they put your email on there, you should have at least gotten an order confirmation email. So I would definitely call Ford customer service and see.
And some of that's just shady dealers.
Yeah.
And or maybe it's just the dealership thinking they know best and they can divvy out the information better than
right there. It may just, to his point, it might be that whole white glove service that they're wanting to provide and just kind of give you the information. But trying to make yourself shorter,
I guess. Man, push the wrong button.
So that's what I would definitely do, William, is I would call Ford customer service, and I wouldn't be alarmed if if they say, oh, we see the order in there, it's still just taking a while, because I still know day 1, day 2, day 3 people that have not gotten orders yet.
There's a WTF video coming.
Yeah.
Real soon.
Yeah.
Tim Hip says, when you get the VIN, the tracking is still effed up. I would agree. It's even for us when ours was a little bit.
Yes.
We got our vehicle and it still hadn't shown that it was delivered.
Yeah, and Paul Sapp, I don't know if it ever showed that we were delivered.
We got the delivery after we purchased it.
Yep.
I actually, no shit.
I think we talked about this earlier this week, where we had a picture of my phone in front of the Bronco. Dave took a picture of it with the Paul Sapp showing pending shipment yet still.
Yeah. I know in Peugeot he's not in here anymore, but he asked if I upgraded the speakers. I have not. And part of our problem is the weather's been
nasty
here. And we're Middle Tennessee. When I say nasty, I just mean rainy.
Yeah, it's just been rainy. It's hard to get, and we want to get content for you guys to see that too. Yeah. So it has to be. Unfortunately, there's a fine line between like having the right weather.
We have softball equipment, a gym in my garage, shelves, you name it.
And then his dad's garage is not filmable.
Yeah, it's
quality really.
It's a little dirty.
Cactus Bronco 21 says, I wiped a smug smile off the face of a guy driving a Sport at the red light a few days ago.
And Cactus, that video you did on receiving your Bronco made us laugh and giggle.
We laughed so hard at that. We actually showed it to our daughter too, and she was so excited. So those of you that got the 5K giveaway boxes, we actually wrote your name in there. And to your exact point, we did write them to make sure that everybody got the right color of. I actually watched the video back to make sure we got it right. But we showed that video to her. Dave goes, "You're YouTube famous," and she goes, "What?" And she comes in and he shows it to her, and she just laughed hysterically at you being so excited about the sticker. So thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Had I known the sticker was going to be more exciting than the Bronco,
I just sent Bronco.
Gave you a box of stickers.
But brightened our day.
Rob Brule, thank you so much.
Yes,
for
thank
that,
you.
dude.
Yes,
thank
let's
you.
party like it's 1999.
Yes, well.
Yes. Except I won't get engaged.
No, if we party like it's 99, that means 2020 is coming back. And I don't want to go through that.
That
shit
is
again
true.
At all.
That is true. And I don't want to get engaged to that guy again.
Yeah. See? Works out.
We'll party better than 1999.
All right. Next up, Kelly, is probably my truck of the year, the Ram TRX.
Oh.
And we both got our first chance to get behind the wheel was at Austin, Texas, at a press event.
Off-roading.
And I mean, I knew what to expect of the thing. It was going to be pretty badass. But you're still new to some of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know a few vehicles that you kind of track, but other than that, you don't track the whole industry. So kind of give me your impressions right from the get-go of this TRX, because you knew it was a full-size truck and that was it.
So I didn't grow up with Rams like we've talked about. I grew up with GMs. So it was either GMs or what we've lived with since we've been married. So when we came up on this thing, I was like, meh, okay. That's fine.
I think it looks great.
It looks all right, but it's a Ram.
Yeah.
Like, so to me, I was never a fan of Rams, and there's nothing to knock it. It's just I never had one to experience it to My extent of Ram was my uncle had a Durango, and I really loved driving it when he let me borrow it when I had a car broken down, and that was the extent of Ram. So I did have joy in Ram products. I just didn't have one-on-one experience consistently. But, it had we talked about it in our video, is like some manufacturers try to do this over-the-top craziness of, beefing it up to try to make it look sportier or beefier or manlier or whatever it is, with a roll bar looking at the back. And Ram actually did that well on this one. Normally if I see it on a vehicle, I'm going to say, nah, let's take it off. Like, it's just not for me, but it was done well on the TRX as far as I was concerned. That was by far my favorite vehicle we drove that day. If we could have a TRX in our driveway, we totally would.
Well, and for those that
There's
don't
a lot
know,
of power.
you're getting the supercharged Hemi in that thing, and, the Hellcat platform, and it's an amazing. You start it up, you hear the supercharger whine. There's nothing like that, and that's sadly with us going to electric vehicles more and more. There's just less to get excited about. So these are kind of the last hurrah of V8.
Hold on a second. Valley Dude 5000. Good night. Happy New Year.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you for the 20K followers or more next year. We appreciate that.
Yes, be
that's
safe
my
out there.
high goal.
Yes, be safe out there. By
Yes,
the way.
be safe. Be defensive as well if you're driving.
But so to kind of vehicles are going to get really more boring. They're going to get tech filled, which is cool, but you're not going to get that. The industrial,
that muscle car.
Well, but it's like that industrial revolution of that raw metal, just that gears and just that excitement. And you hear that vehicle, and it just, if you don't like cars, it's probably not going to do anything for you, because
Probably not.
You push that start button, man, and that thing fires up.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Which was the sound at the beginning of the video. At the end of it, that was that TRX. And so we took it out. I could have done the whole day in that vehicle.
Oh, and we totally talked about doing it again, driving it again.
Oh, yeah. And
we actually talked about going back the next day to drive it.
Yep. And had our flight not been when it was, we probably would have. But that was, like I said, it's the last hurrah of the big, powerful V8 engines in that thing. And I love it. The interior of it's super nice. Now, they're expensive, I think, which is the downside of it for what it actually does. I mean, could you use that as a daily truck, a truck? Kinda. I mean, I wouldn't want to tow with it.
No.
I'm sure it's very capable, but it's not what that truck's intended for. It's a sport truck. And I would have loved. Now, you got to off-road it a little bit.
I did.
How was that? Because I was filming all that while you were doing it.
So
they had some mud you go through, and then a wall you drive.
Yeah, they did, and it's funny because I think before I drove that, I drove. What did I drive before that?
That was the first thing you did in the off-road.
Was that the first thing I did in the off-road course? So they will ask you and be like, "Have you ever wheeled before?" Because it's mostly journalists that maybe not necessarily are enthusiasts about vehicles.
What they call wheeling is generally what we did that day.
Yeah.
They don't truly offer.
Right, which, not to knock, but that's where we've talked about in the past where we're hybrid, where we're like the journalist and the enthusiast kind of hybrid there. But yeah, it literally crawled up it. Like, it went up it just fine. Like, there was no hesitation, no anything. I loved that I put my foot on the pedal and it just went. And it did its thing. There was no hesitation whatsoever. You definitely could feel the V8 Hemi in it.
Yeah, and you hear the exhaust, which is tuned perfect in that thing. But then, like, once again, that supercharger whine. Now, I think it gets like 8 miles to the gallon, 8 to 10, which is, I wouldn't want to take that on a trip. But I love that vehicle. I think for a full-size truck, it's probably my full-size truck of the year. Definitely. Hey, Blueford, thank you for throwing that number up there, by the way.
Oh, thank you. That's what I was actually looking for. So thank you.
I had a blast in that thing, and I would like to do a long-term driving that Dodge, Ram, Jeep, whatever.
Yes, we would love to do a long-term on that.
But I like that vehicle a lot. But at Tauble, we get to drive a lot of cool things. The 392 Jeep. How was that?
That was pretty awesome too. I know we've talked about it. Is like, granted, we talked about it on Monday. Was that I would like to see kind of step up in some of these higher these higher cost Jeeps, I'd like to see the trim levels in the interior kind of go up a little bit more than what we see, because there's minor tweaks, but it's not quite as much as I'd like to see in it.
Well, we did notice within the the Jeep brand, it feels very familiar.
Yes.
Which is kind of a cool thing and kind of a bad thing, right?
Yeah. I appreciated that I knew where everything was because we have the Gladiator, but at the same point, I expected to be a little different and a little bit nicer because you are driving in a 392. And when we drove the EV Jeep too, I don't know. I don't know what I expected. I guess I don't know what exactly I expected, but I definitely expected a little bit differently.
Well, yeah, and for the 392, that once again, it's not supercharged, but it's a big V8 net for that size of vehicle. Sounds great, sounds freaking amazing, and it's a reactionary vehicle because Ford doing the Bronco, people have been asking Jeep for years to do that, and they just wouldn't do it. Said we don't have to. They had no competition, and they were allowing aftermarket companies to do it for people.
Well, and it definitely had the power because we talked about this on Monday. It was like we had this one neighborhood that we were driving around in that we were told, hey, there's some great shots in there. So we drove out of this neighborhood. Every time we drove out of this neighborhood, I'd gun it coming out of the neighborhood. And literally the whole Jeep, back end kind of what's the word? I can't even use my words tonight because it's the champagne kicking in.
Sideways?
Kind of squawked a little bit. What's the word?
Goose-tailed or whatever they call it.
Yeah, goose-tailed or whatever it was. So it definitely did one of these kind of go, and I was like, oh.
It's all-wheel drive, but it definitely, you could get that thing sideways.
You could feel the 392 in it for sure.
But that, and of course we did the 4xe, which it was pink. I still haven't dropped any videos on that stuff because
no, you haven't.
We just don't have enough content, I think, for it somewhat. But the
fishtail,
4xe
yes, that's it.
was in pink.
Yeah.
I forget what they call that
with
color.
blue accents. I can't remember what it was, but
but the
Siri, cancel. Hey Siri, stop. Sorry.
There it goes. Siri's trying to play some music for you.
Say her word name again, then she'll start again.
But the 4xe was slightly disappointing. I know TFL and them did some reviews of the thing actually off-road and couldn't get it to do the mileage at all. I didn't like the regenerative braking at it, and I was told after the fact that you can adjust how much regenerative braking it does. But
all the tails.
Do what?
All the tails. Fishtail, ducktail, foul-tail, mallard.
Ducktails.
All the tails. Oh, don't do that. You might get copyrighted.
But anyways, that was okay. But to what your point was, they all look the same.
Yeah.
And other than the 392 had the gold accents.
Other than knowing the surprise under the hood, there really wasn't much difference.
The 4xe has blue for being EV. But other than that, which is kind of cool. If you were a Jeep person, and I always say this with EV, you don't want to, EV's scary enough, but you need the traditional guy to buy into it, which is why they're doing the Ford Lightning. It looks like an F-150, but it's not.
Right.
So the older generation might go, okay, I'll try that. It doesn't. It's not scary like a Tesla Cybertruck. But the Jeep stuff that we've gotten to do this year has been a blast. I've really enjoyed that. Other than us buying one and getting to test drive one, what was from Tawa? What was some of your other things that you enjoyed? We covered.
I really wanted to drive the Maserati, but I didn't get a chance to drive the Maserati because we ran out of time. But next year, we are giving ourselves 2 full days so that I can drive the Maserati.
The year before, they had a Phantom that you could take it off-road. And they said the only reason it didn't do well off-road is because it had street tires on it. Yeah, take a Phantom.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we could have been driving around. What's up, Aaron Powers?
Hey, Aaron. Bestie. Hey, we had some pumpkin pie, and I got to send you a picture of it. We had some pumpkin pie the other day.
Yep.
And we thought of you. Dave said we actually need to send it to Aaron. But I'm trying to think what. I actually really liked the Infinity.
Wait, you liked the Infinity?
I did like the Infinity. I didn't like the exterior on the Infinity, but I liked the interior on the Infinity.
Definitely felt like a Nissan, though.
Because I feel like the Infinity that we drove,
QX60 is what she's talking
QX60 is. I think it's just dated. I think
it's new
not,
design.
I know it's not dated, but it feels dated to me.
Yeah.
And we didn't drive the Lexus because that's how I kind of felt about it. I feel like it's the same vehicle it's been for years.
The Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Oh, I forgot we drove those.
Summit El Reserve Edition. Now, it's a long freaking name.
That was my favorite.
But it's well worth the name because I think for the price point, I think it's around 85,000 is what it was. Probably the nicest 3-row SUV you can drive.
Yes.
Now, it's a midsize, or what they call a midsize. Still really big. But we dropped a video on that this year. It was fun. A little fun video. Once again, we do these press events. You don't get a lot of time with the vehicle, so I can't really break down. We get to drive it, but you don't really get the full range of the impressions of the vehicle. But
they hand you a book that says, here's all the stats, and these are the stats essentially they want you to cover. And we're just that's where we've talked about, like, I'm just not that person. Like, I'm just not that person that's gonna pull a bunch of stats and regurgitate them out. I'm about the experience in the vehicle. And
but you fell in love with that vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
I think I fell in love with that vehicle. When the sad part was, right before that, we did the Acura MDX, which was super nice.
Yes.
But it fell short of the Jeep.
For sure.
Which is weird to say, like an import high-end luxury vehicle fell short of the Jeep, because Jeep has this blue-collar name. But yet, other than the Wranglers, everything else they do now is high-end.
Yep.
Which is weird to say that, though, that they're kind of, to me, outdid what the other brands are doing.
Yeah, that was my SUV of the year.
Yeah, probably mine too. I know everybody's excited by the Grand Wagoneer, which is just a bigger version of it.
Yeah, it was very cool, but it was definitely it. So
well,
the
Wagoneer.
We did the Wagoneer. We didn't do the Grand Wagoneer, and the Grand. We didn't get we just didn't get a chance to get in the Grand Wagoneer, but the Wagoneer was essentially, like, to your point, was a little bit bigger of a version of the Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit. And I'll be really honest with you, like, I would have taken the Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit over the Wagoneer.
The Wagoneer it
was too big. Yeah.
And the V8 they put in it is thirsty. And we had the 6 in the the Grand Cherokee, though you can get a V8 in that. And I didn't feel like, man, just don't have any get up and go. And in that kind of vehicle, honest to God, I don't want it to feel like it's a race truck. I just
agree.
want it to be smooth.
For that, to me, that was the equivalent of the BMW for me from a vehicle perspective of what I would have liked. It's a good hybrid of, the third row and the comfort and the massaging seats. Let's be honest.
Those
the
are
massaging
some of the best
seats,
I've ever been in.
they honestly were better than going to the salon.
Wow.
I know.
I just buy you an $80,000 vehicle. Hey, Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh, party foul. She's throwing alcohol everywhere, guys and ladies. And where was it?
Oh, Blueford.
No,
Blueford
Cactus Bronco 21. I was happy to toss your name out there, man. And you guys, honestly, go check her out. Her videos are personable, and
fun.
I like that. And especially the one that she dropped on about us. That's hilarious.
You cracked us up.
But what were you saying now, Blueford?
Blueford asked, do you feel claustrophobic or at least cramped in the Jeep versus the Bronco? Yes.
Yes. But before we got the Bronco, it's not like I was in the Jeep and was like, man, this is
just comparatively
too tight. You definitely, when you're in the Jeep, it's funny. You just feel the hood narrow. And of course the whole body sort of does that. My biggest complaint of the Jeep Versus is no dead pedal. And I was about to say something. Kelly's over here cleaning up her mess. What else is it? No dead pedal, and the seat comfort. Seats are just for around town. Doesn't bother me. Past that, I'm not driving that thing a long distance.
Nope. We did our time in that.
And I've talked to somebody recently who's doing some time in a Rubicon, and they were like, "Man, those seats are pretty uncomfortable." Let's see, anything else from Tawa? We got to see the new Tundra.
We did get to see the new Tundra.
One of our
we did a live on that one.
More popular videos of the last half of the year. We did a quick 2.5-3 minute walk around of it.
Yep.
And we were some of the first journalists to get actually access to the vehicle. Before that, people had seen them.
And prior to that, you'd gotten in trouble for it too. Remember on the Tacoma, people, because you hadn't seen much of it, you were.
Oh yeah, a video that I did. Yeah, the rear window.
He did a video on that one, and he got in trouble for that one too.
Yeah, well, just people bitch no matter what. Let's see. Jeeps are getting too pricey, but at least, but they'll last you a good while. That is true.
True.
But all vehicles are getting pricey. My, back in the day, man, my first car payment was $200 a month, which was ridiculous for me at the time. I remember the guy I worked for, a singer or a songwriter in Nashville that I worked for. He had a Corvette that he leased, and it was like $450 a month. And at that time, I was like, "Holy hell,
right?
That's a lot of money for a lease." And now, you know, our Bronco payments are pretty crazy. The Gladiator payment's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So when you smash that like button,
there you go again.
That helps fund those vehicles.
We've got more likes than viewers, so that's good.
Yeah,
that just
awesome.
Means people left us.
That's right. Well, they're
and for those that don't know, Cactus Bronco 21 is Dr. Simple Beauty 300. So same person, just so you know.
Maybe she didn't want her alter ego out there.
She had already commented in there before. Shh.
Wow.
And she said the gas went down 4 cents.
Wow.
Time to get a V8.
Out there in California. But so we got to do some time in the new Tundra, the 2022 Toyota Tundra. And once again, we were some of the first journalists in the country to get to drive the thing.
We were in the 18, what was it called? The 1798 or
1794 edition.
1794 edition.
So we got to drive,
very cool.
I believe it was the hybrid edition, the hybrid version, which is not out yet.
Well, and here's the thing, is it was a production model, actually, a pre-production model. And we were allowed to talk about the vehicle, but we could not video it moving until we were actually embargoed under that. So it was still, they were still working out some things. So we were embargoed during that time. And for those that don't know what embargo just means that, hey, you can have access to this. You can get your thoughts on it. You can put your content together. You can film it and everything else, but you cannot release it to the public until such and such date.
And they break it down to you cannot talk about driving characteristics till a certain date. You can show it moving at a certain date. It's pretty.
Yeah. And honestly, the reason we like the journalist side of it too is that we do get those opportunities because there's a respect that goes along with that, because you're under that embargo. That if you follow those rules, then you're considered that you can go do these other things again. Yeah. So that way we can get first impressions, so we can get content out to you when that embargo launches at, let's say, I think it was like 11 a.m. on such and such date is when they told us. But so that way we can have the content ready for you and drop it. So just so you know, kind of the difference between journalists versus enthusiasts too.
But they that vehicle was super nice. I would like to do a definitely. I would trade the Gladiator in for one of those right now to do a long-term drive on it.
Would you really?
Mm-hmm. But there's, Tim with Pickup Truck plus SUV Talk has one now, and I know TFL went out and had to be the first to get one. I want to do I would like to do the hybrid version, which you can't get right now, not till this spring. But yeah, the 1794 I think is the best of everything they offer. I would do the TRD package on top of it so you get a little bit more aggressive wheels, some more off-road tuning. But yeah, I probably our next long-term vehicle is probably a full-size truck though. Yeah. Yeah. Which leads me back to Tawa and us getting to drive that thing. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the guy from Toyota we talked with. Interesting name. Something rhymes with something. I forget. Super nice guy. But all the
again, it's in the video.
It's a polarizing truck because it's completely different.
Yes.
They didn't do what Nissan did with the latest Titan, where they kind of cloned the Ram and the F-150. Toyota just does their own thing, and whether you like it or not, they do it. And I remember the Tacoma, when this last generation Tacoma launched. It was polarizing to people, and now it's the best-selling midsize truck. I don't ever see brands like Nissan or Toyota challenging the big three for full-size trucks, but they can sure chip away at it, and I think this truck's going to do that. I think finally you got a long bed option again for Toyota, which they hadn't had for a while. The interior of that 1794 edition, that wood trim and stuff, was so nice.
It was so nice.
The 12-inch, 14-inch screen they put in that one wide screen they do. I like that a lot. I thought the interior, the center cluster was real nice, and very impressed with that vehicle. So I can't talk too much more about it because we just haven't done a lot of time with it. But I'm itching to get into more of that vehicles. Which by the way, Bronco crowd, you're going to see more of that this year. You're going to see us not shifting our focus, but we'll always be enthusiasts of the Bronco and talk about all the breaking news of it. But you're going to see a lot more different brands on this channel.
You're going to see extra content, I guess is the best way to put it.
We'll call it plus content.
Plus content.
Like Disney Plus. This is ATN Plus.
Well, you better watch it. We might get copyrighted for using that word.
Right. But guys, check those videos out, man. If you love vehicles, we talk about it all. So definitely when you see me drop something, if you like our channel, just give the other videos a shot. Let's see. SEMA. We can talk about SEMA now. SEMA was interesting because I hadn't got to do a SEMA before. Kelly was new to that, so we kind of got to pop that cherry together, as it were.
Aw, so sweet.
And it's Vegas, so we knew it was going to be a quick in and out trip for us because it was all business. But we got to meet like the Pickens Party of Five. We got to meet them, which was fun. We got to meet Coderman, which was really, really fun. And we got to see a lot of cool Broncos. I will say for SEMA, I was slightly disappointed that a lot of the Broncos seem to have the same shit on it. The same four-wheel parts bumper.
How much champagne have I poured to you?
Not enough. But they really did. They had a lot of the same things, and part of that is there wasn't a lot of aftermarket options
for sure. But
there's only so many non-winch bumpers that I can see.
You saw the same underbite bumper on most every vehicle.
ARB's initial offering for that truck is horrible. Now they have the futuristic looking one that you could never get near because the ARB reps were just being assholes and would get out of the way.
You brought that up again.
Yeah. But
did you answer that question?
Which one?
Before I go on.
Count.
Any idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Gonna make sure we get you covered.
But lifts on these trucks are lifts on these trucks. Yeah, there's some quality better, but when you see them at SEMA, they're all 2 to 5 inches taller. You can't excite me with that. I think next year it's going to be a lot of fun for Bronco because you're finally going to see some innovation, rear cup holders, stuff like that. Things that people are going to start asking for.
Oh, for sure.
That Ford better get off their ass and
either accessorize it or figure out how to put it in there.
And why they can't seem to do the vents and all that. They need to fix that too.
Cactus Bronco 21 says she wants the 4xe video. She wants you to upload it.
It's awful pink.
Well, it's
No, I don't have honestly. Some of that was towards the end of the day, and it's just been a.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I know it's a short video, but like we did that short the other day. What does it hurt to put it up there?
Yeah, we might do something like that.
Which was
funny. We took shit on that short.
Yeah, we took shit on that short.
How do you compare the soft top Bronco to the hard top Jeep? And it was like, dude, did you see this an hour long breakdown video where you were just comparing like quickly this to our hard top?
I appreciated that all I did was pop it off.
You could have been talking about the hard top Bronco. Like, I don't know.
Whatever.
And do you guys like the short?
Yeah, that's a question. So the shorts are a little different. We're still kind of figuring those out. Oh, see, his bladder's kicking in.
Too much champagne.
See, guys? I'm curious what you guys think about the shorts because we typically do more. Obviously, you guys know we do longer videos typically, but the only content we had for that, like popping it off, because it's really not a big deal. Popping the lid off was just that quick short. So I told him, I said, you know what? It's only 30 seconds. Go ahead and put it up as a short. So let us know what you think about that. Need some hidden winches under the front armor. Yeah, Tim, I agree. Definitely needs to be some hidden winches under there for sure. I'm a fan. We've kind of talked about it. We're fans of the way that the lifestyle off-road bumper goes. And so that's actually the way that we're going. We'll definitely keep footage of that once we get that bumper so you guys can kind of see what that looks like. We already have the winch sitting here, so you'll actually get to see it all kind of in regard to that. But Mark, how long after you got your production date did you get your VIN? So You get your VIN about a week, 10 days typically before your build date. So that's kind of the time frame you'll be. So really just depends on if you got your production date today, but your production date is until February 13th. It's going to be about a week to 10 days before that when you typically see your VIN is what historically we're seeing amongst people.
Are we talking history?
We're talking about VINs when you see the VIN after you get your production date.
Well, where did we leave off there? SEMA.
Overlanding for fun says you need a catheter.
Hey, champagne goes right through me.
Tim says the only way with cameras on the Bronco. So yeah, it is, but Lifestyle Off-Road is actually, he's talking about, he wishes they had bumpers that kind of tucked the winch under the armor. Lifestyle Off-Road is definitely working on the camera piece.
Under the arm, under the
so that it's more protected under armor.
Oh. No, theirs is open. Theirs is exposed.
No, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the camera with the Bronco. So they're working on the fitting there.
Yeah, I know Hefty Fab has a new front bumper out that I really like. And what's up, Kevin GR?
Hey, Kevin.
That it would have been a tough one to.
And he already broke the seal. I don't know that he's that far along.
It would have been a tough one to put the Hefty against Luke's. I probably would have went Hefty on that. That if it had been a newer option. I know. I really like.
But we had a Hefty on my previous.
Yes, we know the brand. I enjoy their quality. But they've got the camera under. They've got the camera out in front of the winch now. I like their bumper. It looks so integrated into the truck.
I agree. I told him we would do a bunch of content.
It is something that we may, depending on how the channel's growth this year, it may be something we test out the Lifestyle for a while, and then we test out the other one for a while, just see what we like.
Yeah, Tim, it doesn't block the camera. They've taken a lot of. That's a good thing too, is that some of these mom and pop companies that you're getting, they are taking feedback from the community to make sure that they're providing a great product to you for you. Luke with Lifestyle Off-Road, he is in all the forums, and he actually will put stuff up there and say, hey, this is pre-production, and stuff like that. Just like, hey,
he's
just
done some stuff where they show just tack welded stuff together.
Yeah. And he's gotten some hit back on that. It's like, that's just tack weld. It's like, I told you it's pre-production.
Yeah, and he even puts it in the post, but people, they want to fuss about what they want to fuss
Hey,
about.
welcome, Oscar.
What did I miss?
Well, you
about
missed
an hour and a half.
Bronco, Frontier, TRX, Jeep Gladiator, Maverick. We talked about Tawa, and now we're talking about SEMA.
Yep. But SEMA, guys, if you ever get a chance, and there's only two ways to really get into SEMA, one to be press or one to be a buyer.
Unless they do
they do like special
a special day like they did this year.
But it's well worth it. It was definitely, not monetarily for us. We didn't get the we haven't even broke even with what that trip cost but we'll do it again next year because of it's just fun content to be there. And like I said,
sorry, I'm laughing at the last couple of comments.
And all the interesting people we got to meet, like Coderman and them.
Yeah,
like, it
absolutely.
was just well worth it for that. But
so Mark, don't take overlanding for fun's VIN situation because that's not common. So he actually had like 24 build dates or something like that. So don't. I know that's an exaggeration, but traditionally speaking, majority of the people are getting them 7 to 10 days out of their production date is what they're typically seeing.
Unless your name is Tim.
Unless your name is Tim. Cactus Bronco says she received her VIN in June, picked up a Bronco in November because it's a hard top.
Well, yeah,
but yours was stuck at Dirt Mountain, yeah?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because she's a two-door for one thing. But I know a lot of people like Cigar Texan on here and stuff. He got stuck on Dirt Mountain, and then when he got it, he also got stuck with the airbag recall.
Yeah,
it was like 1 month they had airbags recalled on one particular.
And his happened to be that.
Yeah, and but I've got a video coming out hopefully next week of the people receiving 2021 Broncos in 2022.
Say that again.
People that are receiving 2021 Broncos in 2022.
Oh yeah. We talked about
the WTF video.
Yeah, probably.
I haven't done a WTF in a long time, so.
Oh, good to know, Cactus Bronco. I didn't know that they would give you your VIN far enough out.
Where?
She says, Mark King, call customer service. They will send you an email with your VIN if you request it.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
Cool.
That's good information. Thank you.
especially now because you have a whole year. Well, you have till September to make sure your VIN is the 22s. SEMA, we didn't get any. There was no big reveals. I guess Toyota did the Tacoma camper thing, and I guess the biggest for me at SEMA is the Toyota Tundra, the new Tundra in the Raptor style.
Yes,
that they did, the wide body. That was freaking awesome. After that, a lot of things were just kind of meh.
It was the year of the Bronco.
Oh, definitely was the year of the Bronco.
It was just the year of the Bronco, so
just
it was
like
just
19 was the year of the Gladiator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year was you literally couldn't go 10 feet without seeing a Bronco, and that's why we actually missed some of them because there were some actually in the the tire section, which we didn't even go in the tire building.
The Delfab solid axle swap Bronco, who is going to be on the show on our Bronco live shows the next couple weeks. I talked to him this past week, and he was excited to do the show, so we'll do that. But yeah, they kept moving. Like his the black with the sunset, solid axle swapped. It was any pictures you see of a Bronco at SEMA, he usually pops up.
Oh, okay.
But we saw a few that I kind of snickered at. There was an orange one there that I kind of snickered at, that he was a SEMA build that I don't consider being in the parking lot of SEMA build, but there's a few like that.
This is where his previous
the Brodozers were not in full effect like they normally are. What, there was just a small row of those big Brodozers out there.
It honestly, so from what we've heard, this year was quieter. It was quieter than it has been in the past. So you could definitely see, like, what was it, the Foose booth.
He had a whole hall.
So he literally had almost an entire hall to himself. But from what we heard is there were so many people that had fallen out that they couldn't come, whether it be their, whatever's happening. And
it's like cars were spaced 80 feet apart or something.
It was something stupid. Like, they didn't even have red carpets or anything. Like, I expected them to do something, but he drove a bunch of his vehicles in, put it in there. Well, obviously he didn't, but
I was a little bummed that there wasn't many. Nissan had their Frontier and stuff, but nobody had any Frontiers there to do.
They had the guy from Fast and the Furious.
Oh, Han. Forget his name. Han from the Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
I forget his real name.
Coderman actually went totally geeked out on him. It was cute.
Oh yeah, he totally did.
But yeah, so he was there.
We got to see the new Nissan Z.
Yep, we got to see the new Z. We got to see the
which I'm
Frontier was there.
We haven't seen them floating around.
I know, I am too, because we're actually 15 miles from the.
And I know they have a few that they've been testing around here. So.
Yeah, we live like 15 miles from the
plant or
the
HQ.
plant. Yeah, the Chia Pet. We did a video on that one too.
That was a throwaway video.
It was a throwaway video, but guess what? It got on Motor Trend or something.
Oh yeah, no, Motor One picked it up.
Motor One picked it up.
And talked about it.
And talked about it a little bit
based on our video.
Yeah.
Which I was just like. We were at it was the Freak area or whatever they call it.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember what it's called. Freak Show.
Oh God, I can't even think the light company that does those. Something LED.
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see their logo. But yeah, we just stumbled out there and I seen that thing and I was like, I just had my camera. I was filming something else.
I told him, I was like, look, and it looked like somebody had taken like the grass that you put, like the outdoor grass, the AstroTurf grass. That's what it looked like when you first walked up to it. And I told him, I was like, dude, look what they did to this poor Bronco, essentially.
Right. And then I seen him watering it.
Yeah, and then she saw no, they weren't watering it yet. You talked to her and she was like, yeah, my assistant went out to get some more water because you have to water these while he was video. And and then she's watering the Bronco.
She was excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
You could tell she had been people had been shitting on the car a little bit. So there was a bit of a firewall up there a little bit. But once I showed some interest in it, she got into it and really got talking about it.
She did.
And they were hoping to take it before the Chia died, that they were going to be able to take it to a couple more shows.
Oh, is that what it was? I didn't know Chia has a life.
Well, if you don't
span,
keep it watered.
I'm sure you get it watered, but I mean, I didn't know
it had
a lifespan otherwise.
Do you want to be an LED company and have to worry about, time to go water the car every 20 minutes?
Well,
But as far as other companies, like Jeep had stuff there. There was a 3-row Jeep that you got to see.
Yep. And I did the 6-pack video on it.
And sadly, that video
didn't do anything.
Never did anything.
Yeah. I didn't do a good job, apparently.
No, I don't think it was that. I just, for whatever reason, YouTube is a strange animal, man. Sometimes.
That was like the only video I did by myself for that, too.
I used to know I could talk about Bronco and get 3,000 to 5,000 views, and anymore it's getting harder because everybody has one and everybody wants to be a YouTuber.
Mile 3 Garage says all rules we played last year are being rewritten for 22 buyers from a Bronco perspective, I think.
Yes.
You would think that they would learn from.
Well, and some of the smaller dealerships that really try to get everybody to come buy from them, which, and no fault of theirs.
No, they did what they should have done.
There was a set of rules.
There was strategy to it.
Ford didn't like that they were kind of found a loophole in their rules and kind of leveled the playing field. And sadly, the bigger dealerships are going to get their Broncos a little quicker than that little dealership.
Oops, sorry guys.
Yeah, Puppers is mad.
I don't know why he's up here. Because you didn't shut the door.
No, Sydney came up.
But
yeah, so that's going to be, I think, a story that I'm going to watch for the first half of 22 is like the Granger.
Mm-hmm.
To see what's going on with that.
I think Sewell was one of them too, wasn't it?
We got Lightning coming up this year. That's going to be an interesting story. We got Silverado, who I haven't seen the date on the launch of the EV.
Somebody
Silverado.
asked something about what you thought about the Silverado something.
Lightning. I'm interested in riding in a Lightning. I still think they're sort of a freak show truck right now. I think they're cool. I think they're going to be fast, but I don't know how practical as a truck they're going to be.
Silverado ZR2 and the Sierra AT4X. So Ben. Are you cleaning up my champagne? Thank you.
What was Ben asking there? I don't.
Oh, it's right above that. Sorry. What do you think of it? I think is what the question was.
I like the ZR2, except I don't think Chevrolet went far enough. They really, you're getting a big engine in it, but nothing like the Raptor or, well, I guess it's kind of like a Raptor, but nothing like the TRX. What else is? I don't know. I think the Colorado ZR2 was cool for a minute, and then the fact that you damn near gonna modify the thing like ridiculously to put 35s on it. It comes with 33s that feel too tiny from the factory. GM's a mess, and I do want to cover GM more this year because their head right now is all about EV, and that's their focus. And I think if they could stop making gasoline powered vehicles right now, they would. Like right now.
Well, we get to review my dad's truck when we go down there.
Yeah, we've got a 2021 GMC
Sierra
loaded. Yeah, we're going to check out.
Yeah, limited or something. I don't remember exactly what unfortunately, they were able to get the deal on the vehicle that they drove in. Literally, they told me, hey, just so you know, we're driving in from Florida tomorrow.
Bought in our town.
Because they gave them what they needed for trade-in and everything. So they literally drove from the middle of Florida up here, traded in their vehicles, and drove home the next day.
Let's see.
So I got to have dinner with them, and it was dark, and I didn't get very good pictures of it.
Grazing on your truck. Let's see. The awesome new Blazer. Here's the thing with Blazer. I like that vehicle. I think it's it's sporty looking. And
it shouldn't have gotten the Blazer name, though.
No, but the problem was, Ford, they said they were doing the Bronco, but nobody ever seen anything much of it till they, brought it out, really, with no hint of anything of what it was going to look like.
Yeah.
And Chevrolet has the names alone for a vehicle are worth $1 billion. Just the name. It's $1 billion. So that Blazer name is worth $1 billion, and it's because of all the years of advertising under that name. There's brand awareness. Obviously, we know we're kind of all having fun at the name now because of it's not anything like the Bronco, but there's what a Blazer was. So I do agree. I think that thing should have been named something completely different. But I mean, what do you do? They once again, GM is they're just a mess of a company right now. They don't know what they want to be.
Yep.
And I don't expect them to react to. Look at the what was the thing called in Vegas that
The Beast.
The Beast. That was thrown together. That was a last ditch effort of like, hey, we've got this wrecked probably Silverado frame. Let's just throw some metal against it and see what.
Well, it's like what we did in the video. Like I told you in the video, it was like they took a whole bunch of different vehicles and put them together and just said, hey, this is what we're gonna do because we've got the throwaway bin. And
it got them a lot of attention, but they're not building that.
They're not gonna build that.
Nothing even close to that. GM does not want to be. You know, they got Hummer, the GMC Hummer, which I dropped a video last week or so of our walk around from SEMA on that thing. I like that, but it's 9,000 pounds of just ridiculousness that I don't know. Like it's too wide.
Which are we talking about?
The Hummer, the GMC Hummer.
Yeah.
It's EV, which is cool. It's catchy right now. The interior is not bad, but it's humongous, and I don't know what you do with that. Other than like I guess what the old guys were doing with the old H2s of just drive them around town, you know, basically the size of my
money pile
kind of thing. Look, this is what it is. Or you know, it's an ego vehicle. You're never taking that thing off road. No. The crab walk is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Because
here's the thing, like we didn't take our Titan out, but we saw people take Titans out on on trails, and it's like I would never take a Titan out.
Yeah, something that's probably 5 or 6 inches smaller.
Yeah. So yeah, not happening.
But that's GM is just a mess right now. Let's see, Overland for fun.
I don't understand it. I'm too much champagne in.
Okay. Camaro's ugly brother.
Yeah. Mobile Moto. The Bronco is definitely just a placeholder at this point from a trademark placeholder. I agree. That's what I agree with. Where we at? Right here. Current Blazer is a trademark placeholder.
Oh yes. Let's see. Trailblazers. My parents had a Trailblazer, or they had the GMC Envoy version of it. That straight 6 was fun. There was it was almost had like a turbo delay to it, but man, when it kicked in, it was fun. But it suffered from the typical too big, weird GM doesn't know what they want to do. Let's see. Anything else over this past year that kind of stood out to you, Kelly?
I don't know. I gotta think about it.
I took you to Z1 this year.
Yeah, we went to Z1. You got the tune.
Z1 Motorsports. It's a Nissan aftermarket company.
Mm-hmm.
You got to experience the mini Amazon that is.
Let me tell you. So, from somebody who really likes structure, I really, really liked the Z1 manufacturer, or like not manufacturing, but fulfillment process that they have. Like, if you have a Nissan, whether it be Z, Frontier, Titan.
They do all OEM stuff,
Yeah,
too.
they do all OEM stuff. Bye, Mark King.
Bye,
Happy
Mark.
New Year. Be safe tonight. We'll see you Monday. They're just a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. They know their stuff. They know. It's funny because somebody actually complained about them and said, you didn't send me my parts. You sent me these 3 boxes of wipes. These like the Clorox wipes or whatever. And they were like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me take a look at that. And they literally went back to the video where his stuff was packed and showed him the video of where his stuff was packed and boxed up and taped up before it was taken off to...
Guy trying to rip them off.
He was trying to rip them off for parts. And so it's like their system is just so good. And they have their finger on the pulse. Like they are well aware of they're in all these different groups and things like that. So that's really, if you've got Nissan, that's the company that you want to reach out to.
One of them, definitely. Cactus Gray says the Bronco Sport should have been named Ford Escape Sport. I agree. I don't think necessarily it's bad that it's called a Bronco Sport. I think the Bronco Sport suffers from the fact that it came out before the Bronco. And so you had all this confusion. There's people that just hear, oh, Bronco's back, and they see that at the dealership and assume that's the Bronco, and they buy it. And they're enjoying it, as they should. But then they see the big Bronco, and they're like, what the hell is this? I thought I was buying this. like it's just led to some confusion.
Well, and it's really funny because I had posted, and apparently they hadn't seen the rest of the post that I was posting about us getting a full-size Bronco. But I actually had some friends from college that I had posted, we're so excited about getting our Bronco, da-da-da-da-da. And he actually commented, he's like, I hope you and David do something to that thing and make it look bigger, beastier, because right now it just looks like, I can't remember what he said. But I was like, oh, no. I bet you're talking about the Bronco Sport because ours is the Bronco full-size. And then I put a picture of ours. He was like, oh, yeah, that's so much better because unfortunately, the Bronco name, to your point, the Bronco Sport came out before the Bronco did. And so you've got people that were like, oh, that's the Bronco. And they were everywhere.
Yeah.
And so people were like, I can't believe that's a Bronco.
But it's for that segment of vehicle, it is a fun-looking vehicle.
For sure,
you still get pretty good economy. It's a pretty safe vehicle. It feels because CL11 there was saying, hey, talk about they've done away with all their cars.
Mm-hmm.
Those are their cars now.
Yep.
The Maverick and those things are they filled in those spots because they can get the same fuel economy as a car, and I like cars.
Yeah.
But I'm drawn more to the SUVs than I am cars. Now, I liked your BMW. Freaking great thing. But remember, I tried to get you into the the SUV. The SUV, because I knew ultimately I think it would have been better for the family, but you wanted the car. And either way, we would probably paid the price for that. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, cars are just, they're low. I think if I want something I want a C8 Corvette or something fun like that. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, did you talk about that? Sorry.
Yeah, but as far as like sedans, I would rather have an SUV. You can put more in the back of them if you're going on a long trip. As far as like a Taurus or something like that, they're talking about.
Yeah, I know. I like the best of both worlds. Like, Coderman just sold his Porsche today.
Oh yeah, he sold his GT4.
And I was just like, I would love to have both in the driveway.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe not a Porsche, but I'd like to have a sports car.
My benchmark vehicle for us to, I think, could feasibly own is a GTR. I think the prices are coming. There's so many of them now that eventually the prices are going to. I think you're going to find them in the 25 range at some point.
Maybe.
And I think you can, you get into 30s and somewhere in there, and then I'm more apt to want to buy one of those to sit in the garage.
I only partially agree with you because I know we could do a lot of the work ourselves because we are familiar with the Nissan brand and do a lot. But I guess for an older sports car, yes.
Well, because you get into some of the Europeans, man, and you've gotten a taste of that now.
I know. But like we talked about, we could lease one.
It's true. We could.
That's plans down the road for Mama to have a car that we lease.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Down the road.
Yeah.
So Mama could have a fun
way
car.
Down the road.
I know it's way down. I know what's sitting in our driveway right now.
Let's see. Flo says people gave me shit for ordering the Bronco, thinking the Sport was the real Bronco. Yeah. It's crazy. And Kelly joining the lives is memorable.
Thank you.
I don't know if that's good or bad, Kelly.
I don't know because I'm buzzing right now, so who knows how memorable it is. CW11 says my Fusion handles great. It's so very fun to car drive. Plus, I get 30 miles per gallon at 90 miles per hour.
Oh, yeah.
You actually wanted a Fusion.
Mm-hmm. I like that car. I think you could lower those a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think
make it sporty.
Make it because they look aggressive.
This one, and it's not related to the Fusion, but I just squirreled. He would love to have another Juke, and we are not getting another Juke before we get a sports car.
The Juke would be the sports car.
No, I don't want a stick shift. And I know you would want a stick shift. And that little thing is just too tall or too small.
Well, ideally, down the road, we could have a garage and store a couple cars in it. Let's see. I got crap when I ordered my Bronco. Explained to him it's basically a Bronco 2 from the 80s. I love those old Bronco 2s, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was the square, the bigger square light ones, 89... maybe 90s when they changed that is the ones I fell in love with. Buford, when I told friends I was getting a Bronco, they said, "Oh, those are nice, but they're not very big."
I think they were patronizing you.
No, because they thought it was the.
No, I know, but it was like, "Oh, those are nice." Because most people we talk to are just like, "Meh."
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm gonna shut up now.
Right. Well, if you've made it this far in the show, a bottle of champagne in, you'll
Almost.
well, it is now because you're drinking the last.
Yep.
If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button, man. We do live streams. I do these ATN live streams randomly when there's something fun to talk about in the automotive world. We do Bronco Talk live on Mondays. I do
Franco?
Frontier Talk live. They're kicking back at the first of the year here on Fridays, and I'm going to add a Wednesday night show. I just haven't picked the brand that I want to do it with yet. And we just have a blast talking. I don't always, like on every car, I don't track the details of every individual car. So, but I learn along with you. And if there's questions that pop up, I do have contacts within the industry and can figure these things out. So, Kelly, that is 2 hours and 11 minutes. Can you believe that?
No, because when we started, I was like, what are we going to talk about for 2 hours?
Oh, I knew what we were going to talk about. That's why I had it
You
mapped
had a
out
list.
there. Some focus for you.
Oh, thanks.
Right. Well, guys, so if you're going out later this evening, please be as safe as possible.
Defensive drive, too. I'm big on that because it's not just you driving. It's those that are driving on the road. So be careful.
That is true. For me, the safest place is to stay home.
Yep. We don't go out on rookie night.
I call this rookie night. But if you're going out to have a good time, which I do not blame you, Uber, man. It's expensive sometimes, especially I'm sure they're upcharging tonight. But I would rather pay $100 for a ride than hurt somebody or maybe potentially kill somebody.
Yes. And
spend the rest of my life in jail.
That's it.
So
that's it.
But once again, please be as safe as possible.
And live with that consequence too.
Yes. So for support of the show, if you guys ever want to support the show, we have a membership. If you see the little ATN logo beside like Airplane Mike's name there, is because he's a member. It's $4.95 a month, and it just helps the channel. You know, it helps us be able to cover some of these events. The super chats we appreciate. I cannot say that enough. We always you guys are way too generous to us, and I always appreciate the love for that. Best way to help the channel: smash the like button and maybe hit the subscribe button. So whether it be 2-wheel drive,
4-wheel drive,
4-wheel drive, it does not matter what you drive because this has been your All Terrain Nation. What are we, Kelly?
We're out.
Peace, everybody.
Happy
Hey,
New
cheers.
Year.
Happy New Year's.